Riley to the injured list for the rest of the season. Little League World Series in action, elimination time. Aruba leads Venezuela 1-0 in the fourth inning.
It's time. You know what time it is? The game for Tuscaloosa's longest running sports show.
The biggest goal of our team,
especially in the first half,
we at Bama, we're trying to be the best. Always is to win a national championship.
Something cool to look back on.
We don't want to waste a failure.
You're inside the game.
John Mechie on the ground.
Appreciate your interest in the game.
On your home for Alabama sports.
And Alabama wins.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. And now, here's your award-winning host, Ryan Fowler.
Cold summer. Woo! Man, who left the air on around here? Man, this place is freezing. Don't know exactly what it is. I mean, I got chill bumps running up and down my arm.
I'm going to go grab my hoodie.
Yeah, I left my jacket in the car. Let me see exactly if I can help find this. But Alabama just picked up the number one running back according to some, number two running back according to some. A.K. Deer says, I am rolling with the University of Alabama. For those of us who take the proper way to the beach, unlike the other indirect route, but Wyatt's looking at me because he's a Mobile guy. But anybody that goes 45, right? I go almost to Meridian, and I cut 45. You go through this hometown. Quitman, Mississippi, 2025, 5-star, 2247 composite, 4 stars according to some. One of the top running backs in the entire country says, you know what? I'm rolling with the Alabama Crimson Tide. So he says, and this is one of those that, when you think about Robert Gillespie, you think about looking at these future backs. Alabama also think about his yardage. Last year, he rushed for 2,000 yards and 27 touchdowns, and he is ranked by 247 Sports as the number one running back in this classification. So choosing Alabama over multiple different schools, and I'm sure we'll run through this. We'll talk about it, but a lot of excitement around that. We'll dive into it. But Alabama, A.K. Deer says, I am rolling with the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll dive into it with a lot of different things. We'll talk about practice. We've got Kane Wommack audio that we're going to work into the conversation. I've got 2 different guests today. One of those being Brett McMurphy. Brett McMurphy is going to join us coming up in the 5 o'clock, right at the 5 o'clock segment there. And he is going to actually discuss when you look at Alabama, he's got Alabama as the number 2 overall team. He's got Alabama when you look at the rankings. He's got Alabama at that number 2 spot. So we'll dive into that with Brett McMurphy and why he is so bullish on the University of Alabama when he looks at it, because this is one of the highest rankings I've seen from the national side of things, right? Local side of things, we've been kind of a little bit pumped up. We've been kind of energized, but now we're seeing the national guys kind of start to join in. We talked about Brian Fremeau yesterday, had Alabama at the number 3 spot according to his football metrics. We also discussed the Heisman Trophy projections. Jalen Milroe has also moved up multiple side of things. So as this offense begins to gain in popularity of what they're going to be able to do. But I think one of the big takeaways from Kane Wommack earlier today was how much the physicality. And when you hear coaches that have been in the business for a long time, I used this yesterday from the people that I've spoken to. When you look back at the physicality of this big scrimmage that happened, Kane Wommack said he can't remember ever being a part of a scrimmage. Now, what was it? Is these guys, because at this point of the fall camp, don't know why I keep saying spring. I've done it all August, but it's nothing to do with spring. I guess it has something to do with the cold summer. Maybe my frame of mind is just thinking cold summer. But he talked about one of the most physical scrimmages he'd ever been a part of. That is something that you almost have to step back, because the player's mindset is, hey, we've been beating up on our teammates. We've been tackling Crimson. We've been going after our same guys. How do we keep this same intensity? Well, this Alabama team, to describe it, they're hungry. They're hungry. They're ready to prove some people wrong. And I think they will in 2024 when you look at this upcoming season. We're 11 days away. We'll talk to Mike Detillier coming up at 2:15. We'll break down some college football. We'll take phone calls, and we'll continue what we started yesterday from the defensive side of the football. And like I said, a defensive coach. So this will be the final day, so we won't take them tomorrow. We'll dive to something else, and we'll talk about it. But we're 11 days away. A lot of excitement around the University of Alabama, so we'll dive into some audio. We'll talk with Mike Detillier. We're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. 33 25 Skyline Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. If you notice that I fall asleep today in the show at some point, I'm suffering from a little bit of a food coma. I was invited today to be a first-time opening, but it's not really an opening. There's still a couple of weeks, so about a week, maybe a week and a half away. So we'll see. We'll see. But I was invited to a new restaurant that's coming, and let's just say that we ate a lot. Our caloric intake went up significantly. Okay, I mean it went up. Like I carried a couple of people out there, and we ended up. We loaded down with some food. I mean, it was bacon wrapped meatloaf. It was a glazed salmon that they brought out. It was the fried potato skins that were awesome. I mean, literally, I won't have to eat for a week. Let me just say it that way. I probably gained everything that I lost throughout the summer. I probably gained it back. In one meal. The other people that I was with, I don't think they have a lot of things to do this afternoon, so they're probably in a nap right now. I got to hang out with the best fans of the country, which I find is a very, very privilege. But if you guys have to kind of punch me a little bit to kind of get me going a little bit, that's okay. But, and I'm always willing to volunteer. So anybody out there that needs someone to come in and sample your food just to make sure that it's going the right way, I'm your guy. Okay. You can call Wyatt. I don't charge for this services. This is a free public service, so I'm willing to take one for the team. Now, there's certain things I will not try, but if anything involves food, as long as it's edible, I'm in. There's two things that I will not do: mayo and raw tomatoes. Anything other than that, not really a huge. Indian food guy, but I can do it. I'm just not one of those that craves it. Oh, I'm getting a lot of looks. You like Indian food? No.
If the food's good, I won't charge you for it either. Yeah. So I'll also come out and try.
So you're volunteering too? Okay.
I'm also volunteering. As long as it's good, I won't charge you.
I sent you guys a message, and neither one of y'all responded to me. I said, you guys want to join me? And let me look at this message.
It may have went to my spam folder. I get so many texts and emails throughout the day. I got to check my spam folder.
Okay, well, we do get a lot of emails. We do get a lot of emails. But we're going to dive into this celebration a little bit. But I'll tell you more about that. It's like I know the secret, but I can't really share it. I mean, it's one of those. So I appreciate the invitation. It was great food and a beautiful, 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 beautiful location right there on Lake Tuscaloosa. So having some good fine cuisine for lunch. So enjoyed the event, end up talking to some great folks out there. So we'll talk more about that. So we'll dive into it, talking about A.K. Deer committing to the University of Alabama. We'll talk about leading the team in tackles. We'll talk about what Kane Womack said. We'll talk about what's coming out of this practice availability and a lot more. Mike Detillier joins us in a couple of minutes. We're powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. The national sales event, 1.99 APR. The Camry, 3.99 APR for 36. A 2025 Camry that is averaging, when you look at gas mileage, highway, over 50 miles per gallon. That's right, over 50 miles per gallon. Who knows, man? We may need that. We're also, did we finish counting our ballots? Did we end up, not that I want to, okay. We were counting some ballots with Bama Nick, because Bama Nick has put up a proposal that he gets his own segment.
Jackson was here working late, counting some ballots. He said we stopped about 3 a.m. Ballots stopped coming in about 2:30 in the morning.
Okay. So we do we have a score, or no? We don't. We don't have a score. Is it a unanimous?
Is it unanimous, Jackson?
It is a very hefty lead for.
Okay, so Bama Nick.
Very hefty lead for Bama Nick.
So if we're going to counter this Bama Nick segment, because we are a democracy here, and we do. Oh, I just got a text message from inside the building. Okay, got it. Roll Tide. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's not only a confidence level on the outside of the building, on a radio show in Tuscaloosa, but I think there's some confidence in that building. I think they really believe in one another. I think they believe in each other. I think they believe as a coaching staff that this team has got a little something to prove. And I think for you, I've picked up that Alabama fans, I've been doing radio for quite a while in Tuscaloosa. I can't remember Alabama fans in this situation right now. I mean, we're literally 11 days away. We're dropping down to a big number, right? 10, and then we get to single digits. Can you believe it? Single digits. Describe your excitement. I mean, is it more this year than where it's been in the past? I mean, I can remember teams that were predicted to win it all, where you knew going into the season that Alabama was going to be the team to beat. And I don't remember the excitement being at this level. I mean, I looked at the call board. Call board's completely, absolutely packed with phone calls. I mean, we could be talking about the tic-tac-toe contest downtown or something. We could be talking about the bridge tournament at one of the retirement communities. So instead, we're talking the Alabama Crimson Tide football, and you guys are off the charts. So trying to manage the excitement level, trying to, pace yourself. What was it, Max in Tupelo a couple of days ago? I mean, I'm like, Max, you're never going to make it to the season. You're literally just absolutely going to just burn out. Paul and Lincoln, you'll be the first caller out of the gate. Wayne over in Northport. Joe, I see you. We're coming your way, and many others. T-Town. Mike Detillier joins us in a couple of minutes. The excitement in Tuscaloosa. We're here. We're talking about it right here on the game. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
The Northport City Council will receive an annual salary of $15,500 beginning in November 2025. The council president gets a bump to $17,500 and the mayor to $22,000. The proposed Dawkins subdivision near Shelton State will go to the Tuscaloosa City Council without the total backing from the city's Planning and Zoning Commission. Alabama delegates attending the Democratic National Convention in Chicago say the pending nomination of Vice President Kamala Harris
buy new vehicles to serve our clients. Purchase tickets before they sell out at ESWAChampionsball.com. That's ESWAChampionsball.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A sunny sky this afternoon, the high today 89. Tonight the weather feeling more like fall, clear with the low at 61. And we stay dry tomorrow and Thursday. Lots of sunshine both days.
I got a good job. I work hard for my money when it's quitting time.
Hey, KD, roll with the Crimson Tide. He's the number one running back in the country. Number one running back in the country says, I'm rolling with the University of Alabama. He chose Alabama over Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and a host of other schools. Had a lot of offers around the country. He was a five-star prospect according to 247 Composite. He was the number one player, a number one running back, and number two, number three overall in the state of Mississippi. So a guy that plays, about an hour, 15 minutes from here in Quitman, Mississippi. Right now, we're going to go to Mike Detillier, WWL. Mike Detillier, I hope all is well, my friend. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, Mike, here we are. We're getting almost to single digits. We'll be at 10 days tomorrow. What's the conversation around the LSU Bengal Tigers? It's a big game. Start out the season.
Yeah, LSU has gotten out of the block slow last couple of years under Brian Kelly. They ain't been Usain Bolt, I can tell you that. Now, again, you had to play two pretty good Florida State teams. And I thought last year's team was really good. And the year before, I thought they had a chance. But, man, last year, I didn't think they'd win that game against the Seminoles. I had a lot of question marks about defense. And I didn't know any – I knew that Jaden was good. I didn't think he'd be that good. But in that game, he was sort of mere mortal, okay? It was one of the few times we saw the mere mortal part of Jaden. And so they haven't played well. Man, the breakdowns, Brian, on special teams has been horrendous for this team. It's still a question mark for me. Special teams for LSU. And as much as we've talked about question marks along the defensive line and that corner, my thing is, come on, you can't flub a game because you messed up on special teams. They lost that first game to Florida State directly because of that. Special teams. And what Malik, and I always would give him some grief, saying, man, come on, Malik, you just can't catch them punts during practice. You got to catch them during the game. He was like, come on, coach, stop ragging me about that. He dropped 2 punts, fumbled 2 punts in that game. People remember. And then at the end, and it really led to Brian Kelly going for 2 points against Alabama. LSU missed an extra point that would have tied that game and put it in overtime. It got blocked. And it led to the thought, Brian was afterwards, hey, if I get in this spot again, we're going for 2. And he got in that spot against Alabama in Tiger Stadium. And he went for 2, and they were able to make it. But the buzz is defensively, you see some life from a couple of young corners. How they will hold up under pressure, I have no idea. But they're going to use Harold Perkins differently than we saw a year ago. They got him. He's the best player they got on defense. I still don't know what House was trying to do with him, putting him almost exclusively at inside linebacker. But the buzz is LSU's offense is going to be good, and we've talked about that. It won't look like a year ago. Can't have the number 1 offense in the country again. That won't happen. But defensively, I think I got a little bit more confidence in this team, though still question marks. Defensive line, and I bring up special teams because normally, Ryan, I think you see the breakdowns on special teams, especially early in the season. You know, when it's not quite all gelled. And so it's hopefully they can get off to a better start because the schedule is favorable early if you can beat USC. You play UCLA in late September. Okay. All I can tell you is, man, I think all of us hope for cool weather by the end of September. In this spot, man, I hope you don't get it, to be honest with you. Let UCLA get a little bit of touch of that, you know, southern humidity and heat of late September, playing in Tiger Stadium. That's something, okay, you played in nice weather and it's warm. Man, it ain't hot and it ain't humid like it is down here in September. And we've caught games September and October, Ryan, that it almost felt like it was a July game. It was so damn hot. So, you know, you look at that schedule, it's favorable early, but you got to beat USC. You can't stumble out of the blocks like you have the last 2 years.
What's the spread on that, Mike? You know?
I think it's 5.5 if my memory's right.
Okay.
LSU.
I mean, we get some really big games that first week. Clemson, Georgia. I mean, as you said, USC, LSU. I mean, there's pretty solid. I mean, this first week, we're a little slow out of the game, but after you get past this first week, week 0, we're pretty solid.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see how Clemson's quarterback handles that defense. Okay? You can say, he's played against, dude, you ain't played against them. Okay, that's a different cat. You going up against Georgia's defense. Them guys can run. Now, they don't have the depth maybe that we've seen over the past couple years. Boy, Ryan, they got some talent on that defense, and they can haul ass running. That's the best way to put it. They can flat out run. I want to see how well that young quarterback for Clemson handles that.
Mike, you think this is a playoff team?
Say again?
You think this is a playoff team in Baton Rouge?
Potentially.
Okay.
Potentially.
Well,
I'll tell you why. You know, and I'm going to steal something Archie Manning told me. And we had Arch on last week. But he had told me this at Manning camp. He said, Mike, I would not be surprised. And he said, it could well be LSU. And he said, or it could be Alabama. You have a 9-3 team that plays in the SEC. And with that schedule and how they ended, that will make the final 12. He said, just remember, I told you that. I said, okay. So I said, hell, you ain't got to remind me. Say it on the air. So he was like, you get me on? He said, I'll say it. And he made that comment. He said that I really believe there'll be a 9-3 SEC team, and how it finishes for them. Now, like he said, I'm not predicting the team because he said that is much more difficult. But he said, it could well be LSU. It could be Alabama. He talked about Missouri also being a possibility of one of those teams that, okay, they're not double digits, but how they finish and strength of schedule gets them in.
And those are some metrics that, we haven't really discussed, but they're part of it.
And it could be well a part of it. Here's my thing. If Archie says that, I know Archie's connected.
Sure.
To people on that committee. Okay. Archie didn't just pull that out of the sky. Okay. And so I think he's right about that. He brought up Ole Miss too. You never really know how the schedule plays out with a team. And we both talked about it. If there's a lot of ifs involved with this, but if LSU can beat USC, look at that schedule until mid-October when they play Ole Miss. Look at Ole Miss's schedule. The possibility, I'm not predicting it, but the possibility, both those teams could be undefeated headed into Baton Rouge and Tiger Stadium.
Mike, we now have a general manager at the University of Alabama. That terminology is something that we're getting accustomed to, and people say, what's the director of football operations? No, they have one of those too. So it's a general manager. So, because that's the rebuttal. It's like, hold on, no, he's just the director of operations. No, they've got one of those too. Ellis Ponder is still here. But now this general manager has been raised a significant portion when you look at his salary. He went from $500,000 to $825,000. And the reason why he went to $825,000 is there was multiple schools, including USC, but that came after Courtney Morgan hard. When you see that being paid $825,000, highest paid front office figure in college football, how do you react to that from your perspective?
Get used to it. Everybody's going to have one real soon. Exactly that. Ryan, it's part of the vernacular of college sports today and college football. You're going to see that GM. And he's going to have a lot of different, responsibilities, so to speak, as the GM. But I think, and I've said this before, the college game is getting more and more aligned with the NFL game in a lot of ways. And I think, the general manager, and then there's a director of football operations. It's very similar to the NFL and having a GM and a director of player personnel, correct?
Absolutely.
Basically the same thing.
Heck, it may be more stressful, Mike, than a GM at an NFL level. At least there's a contract in place for the NFL guys. They're here for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, whatever the contract may be. In college, here today, gone tomorrow.
Well, Will Campbell made me this comment. I interviewed him the other day, and he was like, man, 10 wins is unacceptable at LSU. 10 wins at LSU get you fired. He said 10 wins somewhere else might get you a raise. 10 wins at LSU get you fired. He gave me a long look. He said, and you know one of them. And he was right. He didn't win 10 wins the year he got fired, but it is part of what we're going to see more and more of, Ryan. There's so many different aspects now to the collegiate game that you need somebody to kind of be the traffic cop for things happening. That a coach now, his main deal is to be the head coach, okay? Coaches the team. But there are a lot of other things happening behind the scenes that he may know a little bit about, but he's not directly involved. And now with NIL and transfer portal and everything that goes along with high school players coming in and the money involved in deals being aligned with them. And that's a lot on a plate. And also, too, it becomes the buffer between you as a head coach and the athletic director and also the president of the school. Because sometimes, emotions get involved and things are said, and maybe some alumni try to use a lot more influence than what they should have on certain things. And you need a buffer guy. And so I think you're going to see more and more of these collegiate general managers. And I think within 3 years, every team in college football is going to have one.
This is where we're at. Mike, what's the latest on Kool-Aid McKinstry?
Kool-Aid suffered a knee injury. In fact, he had a chance for a pickoff, and a guy rolled up the back of his knee. He went to the tent, and they brought him to the locker room. First indications are that looks to be more of a sprain and that he potentially could be ready for game one. Because remember now, you play the third preseason game, and then there's an off week, and then you play. So the news, and Dennis Allen even brought it up at the press conference yesterday, that, it could have been worse. And it looks as though he'll be okay. So it'll just be the rehab part of it and getting yourself ready. But the potential that he could play in game one, and he's impressed. Everybody that has had any interaction with Kool-Aid has all made the same comment.
Impressive. Just
how smart he is. He puts himself in a position to make a play. He's always trying to get better at his craft. Spends a lot of extra time in the film room. And, that's part of Alabama football. That's part of being coached by Nick Saban. It's part of what Crimson Tide football has been, for so many years with Nick. It's about fundamentals and also paying attention to details, and he's got that. And so he's been impressive. You hate to see him miss time, but I think it was a hell of a pickup for the Saints to get Kool-Aid. And every coach defensively we've spoke to, or even Alontae Taylor, he brought up, he's much more kind of ahead of the game than I was coming out of Tennessee. He gets it. It's like you said, they ain't got to tell him twice. He gets it the first time. So it goes to show you just how talented a player he is. And I think he'll end up being a big part of the Saints secondary. Exactly where he plays is still in question. We saw him in the nickel spot. We also saw him out as the wide corner. And before he got injured, they had him returning kickoffs. He was going to do that also, or at least be in the mix for it.
What kind of season do you think the Saints are going to have? And I'll let you go ahead, Mike.
They're stuck in football purgatory. I think
Mike, there's a lot of Saints fans here. They're kind of accustomed to a little bit of this, but you think that they're stuck, huh? Okay.
This is a team. Could they stretch it to 9 wins? Maybe. I picked them 8 wins, 9 losses. I just think defensively and special teams, you have a good enough team to be a playoff team. But offensively, man, you got all kind of issues along the offensive line. If you can't run the football, you got major problems. And we all know what type of quarterback Derek Carr is. He has always been a stock market guy, up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's not going to change as he gets older. It's going to be more pronounced. So I think you kind of stuck. You won 7 wins 2 years ago. Last year, 9 wins. And last year, 9 wins, that schedule was easy. How you didn't get to 10 is still shocking to me, but whatever. I think this team goes 8-9. 8 wins, 9 losses. Could they stretch it to 9 wins? Maybe. But I look at it, and this is strictly on paper, and there's no other way to judge it. The Buccaneers and the Falcons are a better team than the Saints today.
Wow. Hey, Mike, I got to get to this break, man. I always enjoy the chats, man. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. Bobby Hebert and Company, WWL, the big 870. Mike, I appreciate you, man. Have a great show this afternoon.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mike Detillier, one of the best in the business. Always fun to visit with him. We're going to take phone calls. Man, we got a lot of things to talk about. Courtney Morgan getting paid. A.K. Deere committing to the University of Alabama. Bama practice ongoing, back on the practice field after a 2-day off. When you look at that, we got Brett McMurphy coming up around 5 o'clock. We'll take phone calls. Paul and Lincoln, get ready. We got a lot of audio that we're going to dive into. Going back to that physicality of practice. What were they trying to accomplish? We'll talk about it. 3 minutes away. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Marshall Dillon say, Miss Kitty, have you ever thought of running away?
With only 43 seconds remaining, facing a 4th and goal from the 31-yard line at Jordan-Hare Stadium, quarterback Jalen Milroe finds himself under immense pressure, scrambling to connect with Isaiah Bond in the corner of the end zone for a miraculous come-from-behind victory over Auburn. The jaw-dropping 27-24 result came on the 10th anniversary of the Kick Six. Daniel Moore is proud to announce 4th and 31, his upcoming oil painting featuring the now famous Gravedigger play. New Life Art is now accepting pre-orders for limited edition fine art prints and canvases of 4th and 31. See the preliminary pencil sketch for the artist's full color painting at DanielMooreArt.com. Pre-order your artwork now by calling 1-800-735-2787 or by visiting DanielMooreArt.com.
Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets in downtown Tuscaloosa, 1010 Queen City Avenue for over 60 years. They've been serving our community. They specialize in a large inventory of fresh flowers, weddings, gourmet fruit baskets. If you're trying to lift someone's spirits, it is Pat's Florist Gourmet Baskets by calling 205-345-5093. Delivery options are available, but it's more than just flowers at Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets, 1010 Queen City Avenue.
And rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Big Mike's downtown Moundville, only about 15 minutes from where I'm located. Also in Gunnersville, Alabama, Thomasville, Andalusia, Auburn, Alabama, Orange Beach. You'll find one of the best steaks in the state of Alabama, voted by the Alabama Cattlemen's Association and many other great publications recognizing the great ribeye, the seafood entrees. You'll find those. The great
within 30 miles. And if they don't have what you need, they'll get it. Cypress Supply, 2036 62nd Avenue, Tuscaloosa. Cypress-supply.com.
The best sports talk in the state. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Justice will be served and the battle will rage. This big dog will fight when you rattle his cage. And you'll be sorry that you mess with the U.S. of A. 'Cause we'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way.
Can we apply this to Alabama a little bit? I mean, can we apply this? We'll put a boot in your butt. We'll put a boot in your butt. That's one of the topics that we'll dive into when you look at the University of Alabama. A.K. Deere committing to the University of Alabama. Courtney Morgan getting paid. You know, when I had a chance to visit with Courtney Morgan, we were at SEC Media Days, right? Alabama was on a big roll when you look at commitments, 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. And I walked away going, man, wow, how impressive. You think you understand exactly the role of a general manager, right? You think that you know, okay, what's he going to be doing? And then when you listen to him for 24, 25 minutes, spit out all this different stuff, right? I mean, that's where these front office people now have to be. And I think we go back to when Kalen DeBoer got off that plane, we were like, hold on. Okay, so it's Kalen DeBoer. Okay, his wife, his kids. What coach is he bringing? Is that Ryan Grubb? Is that the offensive coordinator? No. Is it the defensive coordinator? No, it's a general manager for the Alabama Crimson Tide. What? A general manager? Who is the general manager? What does a general manager do? Oh, it's a new term that we're talking about. Director of Football Operations. No. Elvis Ponder's not going anywhere. He's going to be a general manager. He's going to be the guy that is going to facilitate all these different hectic things around the world of college football.
I wrote a story at 2 a.m. that Saturday morning about how important it was that Courtney Morgan landed with Kalen DeBoer. And we're seeing it, obviously, with this recruiting style and everything that he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's bringing in a ton. And I think when you look at Courtney Morgan, like I said, when I sat down and we had a conversation, 25 minutes, I invite you to go back, and I don't think we're going to have time, but it would almost be a great replay just to be able to reflect on $825,000. $825,000. He will be the highest front office guy when you look at the world of college athletics, and this will change the entire culture, right? I mean, it will change. And I know the Auburn fans out there, they keep talking about, well, he's really struggling on in-state. Well, they're national recruiters. I mean, they'll take what they need in-state, but they'll also go outside of the state. Mississippi, Quitman, Mississippi, what's that, about an hour and 15 minutes from Tuscaloosa? I would say geographically, still pretty close. So you can use whatever rebuttal you'd like to use, but the number one running back just said, I'm rolling with the Crimson Tide. So take that. Paul in Lincoln. Paul, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Ryan, let's put a boot in the ass of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers in about 11 days.
Yeah, take that, Western Kentucky.
Hey, I'll go even bigger than that. Why don't Donald John Trump put a boot in the ass of the Harris Tampon Tim ticket? How about that? Let's kick that ass. How about that?
Well, it looks like they got a little bit more kicking. I mean, they got to keep kicking. Got to keep pounding. Got to keep pounding. But the freak show has started up in Chicago, and we'll leave it at that. But Paul, I'm kind of curious now. We count them the way that we want to count them, but we started a ballot yesterday. I'm not sure if you were listening, but Bama Nick has campaigned for his own spot on Thursday. And so I said, we're going to have to put it in front of the people. We're going to have to count the votes. But the only problem was, Paul, we kept getting boxes of ballots dropped off here. We don't know where they came from. We don't know who voted. They're just here.
Well, did they all say Bama Nick?
Bama Nick gets a 5 o'clock Thursday spot. That's what it looks like.
Man, wow. It's amazing how that happens sometimes, doesn't it, Ryan?
I mean, we were counting ballots last night till about 3 a.m. in the morning. We have more ballots than we do callers.
Wow.
There was actually a huge spike in Bama Nick ballots.
Yeah.
And that last box that we cut off at 2:30.
Yeah.
So it was pretty neck and neck until then.
Yeah, it was until.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we had a water leak in the radio station building too. Was
it a water main or was it just an overflow toilet?
We really don't know. We don't know, but it was water everywhere. We had to get the ballots up on the table. They were going to get wet.
It seems like I remember a scenario of exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, another radio show? Another radio show? Okay.
Well, no. Maybe in November of 2020 it comes to mind. I think it was November of 2020. Kind of the same things you're talking about, Ryan. So,
okay. Well, I have to check on that. But how would you
check on that?
How would you cast your? I mean, being one of the top dogs of this sports talk radio. I mean, how would you cast your vote?
Well, Ryan, I'll be completely honest with you.
If you don't mind, can you show your identification card? Oh, we do require that here, if it's okay.
Oh, you want my ID?
Yeah,
yes. You want my caller ID?
Yeah.
Okay. I just flashed it on my phone.
Okay. Thank you.
We need your social security number as well.
Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay. I'll give you the last 4 digits. Ryan, I've always been a fan of Bama Nick. I remember Bama Nick from one of the other shows in your time frame, your time window, and I can't help it. I like the guy, so I have no problem with Bama Nick getting a. How long of a segment are we talking about?
I mean, see, that's we haven't put any parameters. I mean, it could be 3 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. I mean, maybe 5 on good days, but I mean, he's.
Well, Who's gonna sponsor Bama Nick's segment? Is it
PBR?
in adult beverage. Okay,
yeah. PBR is the new. We don't accept alcohol endorsements on this show, but
right.
No judging. It's just I don't know how it.
Sure. I got you.
It's a fuzzy beer. I work too much in the EMS field, so saw a lot of accidents. So anyway, PBR is the sponsor for Bama Nick. First time we've ever allowed alcohol endorsements on this show. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ryan,
just taste fuzzy, but goes out smooth.
Yes, I'm going to give you a legitimate vote, Ryan.
Okay.
Put me down for a yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, we're almost at unanimous. We're like three different people's all that voted no. So we're yeah.
Okay.
And even a few yeses a few no's that we just counted as yeses. We didn't we just counted them as yes. So even though they voted no, we just said you vote yes. And there were guys like, no, we voted no. Well, okay, we got you down for a yes. Thank you so much for calling.
Well, Ryan, what do you think? In 2 days we have locked Courtney Morgan up, hopefully for the good near future, and and today I guess we bagged a 14-point buck deer. That's not shabby for 2 days of work, I guess.
Yeah, this is a Boone's and Crockett, which is I think it's over 200. So this would be a 200-point big time deer, big time.
Oh yeah. If anybody has peeked at some of this young man's highlight film, do yourself a favor and just go take a peek. This kid's pretty. Listen, I understand it's at the high school level. But this kid's is pretty special.
Yeah,
so that
2,000 yards against anybody is a pretty big accomplishment.
Yes. But Ryan, he seems like he runs angry, and I like that. I like players that kind of play angry. You know what I mean? So this kid's it's a big pickup, I think, for the Crimson Tide. Now we just have to hold on to him because it's never over until December.
That's why you pay your general manager $825,000.
$825. Man, that's
you've got to be able to facilitate all of this.
He's worth every cent. Okay, he's worth every cent of it. I mean, there's a reason Kalen DeBoer brought him with him on his initial trip to Tuscaloosa, and I think since he's got on the ground here up to this point, we've kind of seen what value he's added to the program. So, Ryan, I'm pumped up about this. The more I hear Kane Womack speak, the more I think this defense. I always say this: without playing the first game, it seems like this defense is in pretty good hands, and it seems like, especially along the defensive front, maybe the cream is starting to rise to the top. Maybe the light's starting to come on for some of these kids. And, I know you, Ryan, I don't remember a preseason that I've heard you this excited about what could possibly happen during the course of a season. Now I've certainly picked up things from you going the other way.
Yeah, well, last year I had anxiety before the season, so it was just kind of a theme.
It spilled over from 2022. That anxiety.
Well, and all I had to do is go back and watch the Tennessee tape, and I really developed a lot of anxiety. You know what I mean? I was like, hold on a minute.
Oh Lord, I remember.
Yeah, but every time
bless
I see
his heart,
some of this,
poor old Dawson. I'll never forget the Facebook post that poor old Dawson, bless his heart,
I read it on the air and
I
went, Lord, have mercy. And I was thinking about my buddy yesterday, man. I was thinking about Dawson. We approached the season.
I always think about, especially as getting this close to the season. He certainly comes to mind more often than not.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Paul. Have a great rest of your day, man. Always good to talk to you.
Roll Tide, Ryan. Roll MAGA.
Roll Tide. Paul and Lincoln will continue with more phone calls. Wayne and Northport, get ready. We're coming to you next. T-Town Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Important to let this moment pass us by.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Don Wallace CPA, 527 Main Avenue in downtown Northport. Small business and personal income taxes, payroll, sales tax needs. They can also help you with nonprofit or church accounting or auditing. In business since 1999, they work for you, not the IRS. When you take on taxes, you got to have someone on your side. It's Don Wallace CPA.
Cocktails around and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Nuke's Eatery, they're on the fringe of the campus of the University of Alabama, close enough that you can smell the championships. The Nuke's Q sandwich, still the number one sandwich across the franchise. The French dip sandwich, I think, is going to challenge for that number one spot. The double club, the single club, you can pair those up with a great sandwich, salad, California-style pizzas, all available for catering from a group of 5 to 500, a small office party to a large corporate event. Joel Bromfield, they've done a great job for my family. They'll do a great...
Deodorant.com, code SUPER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code SUPER to save 15% today.
The best breakdown of Alabama football in the state. The Game with Ryan Fowler. On your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
A little different, and it's okay. Previously, the team waited until December to vote on team captains. Now, when you look at Jalen Milroe, Deontay Lawson, Tyler Booker, Malachi Moore, those are the 4 captains. Jalen Milroe, Deontay Lawson, Tyler Booker, and Malachi Moore. 3 of those players were in Dallas, Texas at SEC Media Days. Those players will now be the permanent captains, and they voted on that a little bit, I guess, prior to the season. And that will be one of the things that, we'll reflect on as we look at this. It's going to be a little different way to do it, but they voted on the team captains, Jalen Milroe, Deontay Lawson, and Tyler Booker. DCH, great things are happening at DCH for over 90 years. Been serving our community, the Regional Medical Center there on University Boulevard, also Northport Medical Center. You'll find Fayette Medical Center, Orthopedic Services, Women's Services, Cancer Services. It is DCH Health System for over 90 years of serving our community. Wayne and Northport. Joe, get ready. We're coming to you coming up in a couple of minutes. We don't have another guest until 5 o'clock, so we're going to stretch our legs a little bit. We got Kane Wommack audio, some things that he said that really grabbed our attention. We'll do that coming up in a couple of minutes. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
MedCenterUrgentCare.com. We expect the unexpected. Locations in Tuscaloosa, Northport, North River, right there off Rice Mine Road, Fayette, Demopolis, Hoover. The great doctors, urgent care, family medicine, injuries, occupational health, sports physicals. We do expect the unexpected. MedCenter.
DEAL or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511 today. All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A sunny sky this afternoon. The high today 89. Tonight the weather feeling more like fall. Clear with a low at 61. We stay dry tomorrow and Thursday. Lots of sunshine both days. Highs between 87 and 90. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Byer.
Minnesota Vikings assistant coach Brian Flores was in the news yesterday when his former quarterback in Miami, when Flores was the head coach of the Dolphins, criticized Flores and his coaching style. That quarterback was Tua Tagovailoa. Today, Flores responding to Tua's comments.
Specific to the comments that were made by Tua, I just want to say, look, I'm genuinely happy for the success that Tua's had, and I really wish him nothing but the best. And player relationships are very important to me.
In other NFL news, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan says nothing has changed on the status of Trent Williams, who continues to hold out, and wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, who is requested to be traded from the team. Lions head coach Dan Campbell said running back Jahmyr Gibbs will be available for the team's Week 1 opener against the Rams. Well, the Rams got Matthew Stafford back practicing today after the quarterback dealt with a hamstring injury. Braves have signed infielder Gio Urshela to a deal, placing Austin Riley on the 10-day IL.
Getting a significant pay raise when you're looking from $500,000 to $825,000, a general manager at the University of Alabama. And also when you look back at some of the things, when you look at A.K. Deere from Quitman, Mississippi, says, I'm rolling with the Crimson Tide. We talked about the captains. We're also doing the defensive metrics. And Paul and Lincoln, I did not get who you thought the team was going to be led in tackles. You're welcome to chime back in if you want to maybe call and let Jackson know across the glass. We'll take your phone calls. Let's go to Wayne in Northport. Wayne, good afternoon. You're in the game, man. How are you?
Good afternoon, Ryan. How you doing?
Good. I want to ask you, Wayne, describe your excitement level for the upcoming season.
Oh, it's off the chart.
Like, is it the most in like 5 years, 10 years, ever? I mean, give me your excitement level.
I wouldn't say ever, but I would say it's the most anticipated season for me since 2009.
Whoa, 2009 for Wayne in Northport. Why do you think that is? Is it just the newness? Is it the change? Is it...
It's the change, and I think things... We talk about Courtney Morgan, right? Let's just talk about that for a second.
Sure.
The things going on with Courtney Morgan right now, those things and the things that he's probably handling behind the scenes, and you know better than I did because I didn't hear the interview, and you talked to him in Dallas. So the things he's handling, I think, are the things that we're getting beyond the old school coach like Coach Saban. I'm not criticizing Coach Saban. I'm just saying college football was going in the direction he was going to have to completely change again to keep up with the changes in college football. And I think he just felt like instead of doing that, he was going to do the University a solid, step aside and let a younger man do the job. And I commend him for that.
Well, I think that there is a part of that he saw, and just based on what he'd always told us, I don't feel that I can do the job the way that it needs to be done and the standard that we've been able to create, that I know that my time has come to an end.
Yeah, and I think the recruiting momentum we have is unbelievable. I know we lost another commitment this weekend to Tennessee, but I think a lot of these guys, when they see our product on the field, I think you're going to see several other guys, regardless of who we hold on to or not, are going to jump on board. I think A.K. Deere decided he wanted to roll with us. And by the way, Quitman, Mississippi's been good to us. You remember a guy named Antonio McDyess?
Sure we do.
Yes. Basketball player. That's where we got him from. So, if he's as good as the last athlete we got at Quitman, we'll be doing pretty good.
Yeah, so when you look at it, for any of us that go to the beach, that's my favorite route. So you go right through there, right? I mean, 45, it's always, it's a sad time when you're coming back from the beach, but when you're going to the beach, it's always kind of gets you excitement. I think there's a fruit market up there, like a peach place that serves that great peach ice cream that's up on top of that little hill. I think that's Quitman, Mississippi. I think it is. I may be wrong.
By the way, let me get this out of the way. Deontay Lawson is going to lead this team in tackles. He's going to have 100 of them.
Okay, so you're going to go Lawson with 100.
He's your middle linebacker. He's going to be a thumper in this defense.
And he's going to be the signal caller, and he'll have the headsets on, which was going to it could not be a better year for a transition because you're learning a new defense, you're learning a new way of doing things, and the headset, because you can only send so many signals, right? I mean, you could send signals in, but then you got to interpret the signals from a verbal standpoint. You get it, right? Boom, right in the play. Now, it'll be kind of curious.
The ball can snap these days.
Well, yeah, I mean, for 15 seconds in the game. So if you go up tempo, that may be a little bit of a disadvantage, right? In some ways, you want to get all you possibly can. So you may even see the game slow down just a little bit. Or you could see it, the 15-second kind of become the 0. Even though, you snap it right at 15. So
super pumped, but it's for different reasons. I told you why I'm pumped for this year. But the reason I was pumped in 2009, we'd had a great recruiting class in 2008 with Julio. We had a 12-0 season that got derailed a little bit in the SEC title game, and I knew that team was hungry. I get the same feeling from this team.
Yeah, there is a different vibe. I mean, it depends on the people you talk to. You've talked to people that, that live in this community that, get a chance to go out to practice a little bit more than maybe you and I. But it's one of those that every time you hear, or a former player that knows what a good practice should look like, they go to practice and they're like, wow, this is crazy. Like the intensity of Saturday's practice. And then when you hear the intensity, and then when you hear Kane Waldman come in and say, well, they found another gear. They found another gear.
Wow.
That doesn't sound like because you're not supposed to find another gear. You're going into your first couple of days, consecutive off days since camp started. We've been beat to death with 100-degree heat, hot, and then all of a sudden your players find another gear. That tells me that there's a team out there that wants to prove something.
Yeah, same thing it tells me, buddy. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, Wayne. Thank you so much. Let's go 205-342-9904. Hey, Corey. Good afternoon, Corey. You're in the game, man.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing this afternoon?
Man, I'm awesome. I hope you are as well.
I'm doing great. So you think that there's some same parallels to the 2009 team to this team when they lost to Florida?
Yeah, I didn't say that. I was – but you know what? It is something to think about. It is something to kind of grab because you're like, okay, this team didn't accomplish. Now, you know what else is on them? There's a lot of the players here that don't know what a national championship ring looks like. They haven't won one.
Well, it's been almost 4 years. And the thing is in 2009, it had been since 1992. I mean, Malachi Moore is one of the only few players that have won one. Now, he can tell some of those players, hey, I've played in that. Well, he didn't play in it, but I was on that team that was on that team that played for a championship. But the thing is that team was one play away from playing Washington and probably would have beaten Washington. And we know that what the standard is around here, it still can happen. I mean, this team, and Wayne made a good point that if Saban would have stayed, yes, we would have liked if Saban would have stayed, but who knows if things would have gotten staler and staler. I mean, because let's say Saban would have stayed.
Could you imagine, okay, just for a moment, could you imagine if Coach Saban would have stayed here? The conversations, the doubt. Because we would be sitting here going, he's lost his fastball. He's lost his fastball. He can't hire coaches. The recruiting, is still going, but it's you're losing guys in the portal. Because I must tell you, there was a lot of these kids that were gone. They were out of here.
Well, let's say he did stay. I don't. You know what? I hate to say this. I would have lost a lot of faith in Nick Saban going into the season.
In what way?
Because just getting the job done the way that he would have done in the past. I mean, because because he wasn't producing. It just would have felt different, you know. Just things were just getting, like I said, getting stale. I mean, you wasn't polishing the product, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, we would have said here. I mean, think about if Tommy Rees would have been coming back for another year as OC. Think about how many doubts we'd have had on that side of the field. Woo, my Lord!
Doesn't this feel like?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'd have wanted to do radio in Tuscaloosa if we'd have went through another offseason. I mean, it was already starting, right? I mean, we got back to the Rose Bowl and we were like, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, they made the same mistakes they did in game number 1 to game number 14. I mean,
doesn't this feel like?
Or 13. No, 14. 14 would have been, SEC title game would have been 13. So 14, game number 14 as they made in game number 1. I mean, they were making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over. I mean, did that look like a football team that had improved? No. In some ways, maybe. But you'd really have to stretch. They made a lot of the same mistakes. And we also saw this creeping into Coach Saban in the penalties. Where Nick Saban was a very disciplined football team, not the case the last few years.
You saw an undisciplined football team. You saw a team that to me, you saw a Nick Saban that checked out at times. And I don't think you're going to see Kalen DeBoer do that.
How much do you think that was, in your opinion? How much do you think that was the NIL transfer portal that he just kind of?
I think a lot of it.
It took it out of him.
Well, okay. I know you talked about, you say what happened with Oklahoma State and the QR code thing. Can you imagine if that happened with Alabama players just getting players like that? I mean, that would drive Nick Saban crazy because it's out of control. I mean, Nick Saban likes to have things under his control. When the NIL, you have no control over it, like under the way he would want it, and the recruiting part, he couldn't recruit the way he wanted to recruit because it was a bidding war for recruits, and it was just a lot of things. Like I said, there was just the way he wanted it controlled, the way he couldn't do it anymore. But now that you have new blood and new energy, I think that this is going to be a really good year. Now, could it result in a championship? Maybe, but we as fans can't just sit there and expect to guarantee a championship, even though it's the standard. It's not. You can't, like I said, you can't just guarantee it because we don't know 100% what the fire is going to look like on the field. Because even though we've read and heard of all the practice, what it's like, we have to see it first, and we'll get a chance to see it on the 31st against Western Kentucky. But you said that the injuries could derail this, but if we can stay healthy and keep building and building each week, this could be a special season, and we'll find out.
Who's going to lead this team in tackles, Corey?
Oh, man. I have a couple of options here. I can go with Okay.
It's a contest, man. It's a contest.
I know. I'm going to go with G.I. Campbell.
Okay. So going to go Campbell, which was very popular yesterday. What tackle number?
I'm going to go 85.
85. Let me make sure I don't have an 85. Yep, you got it, man.
Is he inside?
I have an 85, but it's Malachi Moore.
Is he inside or outside?
No, he's an inside backer, but I think they're going to try to get 3 of these guys on the field. I think Justin Jefferson is going to make it hard when you look at it. So I think he's made it very difficult not to get all these guys. I think they look at them as co-starters.
And one more thing before I go. Do you think that Kalen DeBoer will run some of the concepts that Steve Sarkisian ran as offensive coordinator, not to the effectiveness, but some of the concepts and ideas that Sark ran in 2020, that kind of offense?
What, from a balanced attack?
Yeah, like you didn't know what was coming because it was such an explosive offense.
Let me say it this way. They're going to beat you a lot of different ways, Corey. They're going to beat you, and they're going to attack your defense. This offense is going to create a lot of sleepless insomnia nights in the world of defensive coordinators, because you're going to line up and you're going to be like, how in the world do you defend this? Because it's just too much. Now, the defense, we're going to see. I mean, I think, as Kane Womack said today, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some areas that we're just, but we're going to have to play young guys. This is the world of college football. You got to be able to get them ready and get them in and get them on the field. Because if not, you know where they're going? They're going to the portal. Corey, I appreciate you, man. Have a great rest of your day. Let's continue with more phone calls. And we go here, 205-342-9904. Alf, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, I'm with you, you and Corey. I'm so glad that Saban guy's gone. I mean, he had just lost it all, he couldn't coach anymore. That we'd lost. What did he say? That we lost the shine, or what did Corey say?
Yeah, well, luster. It was gone. It was gone, man.
The luster's gone. He forgot how to coach. And I'm so glad DeBoer's here now.
Get him the heck out of here.
Golly, man. Let me tell you.
I wonder if they said the same thing about Coach Bryant in 83. 81, 82, 83. Yeah, those years. True. I was just kind of adding all that up. Cause,
just getting rid of that guy, and golly. Well, listen, Saban is such a character guy, and he's such a building young men, and he's, all the things he's told us all these years. I'd love to have a private conversation with him and find out what he thinks about the players at Utah, every single one of them getting a new truck today. Are you kidding me?
Or what do they call the codes where you scan them? Jackson, help me out.
QR codes.
QR code. Okay, so they've got them now at Oklahoma State. They're going to be on the back of the helmet. Now, for one, I can't really understand how this is going to work. Are we going to hit DVR on our TV and zoom into a player's QR code and make a donation? Is this really where we're going with the college football?
If he makes a bad play, do we get a refund? There's just
it's a price match, right? You got to, if it drops within 30 days, you get your money back.
Yes, that's it. That's right. We're going to have a ceiling on it like stocks.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, like you could put it in there as a tentative donation. I'm going to donate $1,000, but you must catch 10 footballs today. If you do not, that money goes back to me.
I'm not saying that's gambling, but you can see gambling from here.
It does make you think a little bit. It does make you think a little bit. It does. To think about where we're at in college football. Listen, when you wake up and you see a general manager being the highest paid off the field person in college
almost
athletics.
$1 million.
Yep. And he was just he got a contract back in. But let me say this. The market drives the price. I know.
It sure does.
Okay. And I'm saying this, Alf, and I'm winking at you at the same time. I'm not sure if you could see it. Multiple schools came after Courtney Morgan.
Sure they did.
And you know what? You know what else, Alf? This $825,000 is not going to stop them.
No. They got big money. Let me just tell you, when what's his name finally kicks the bucket in Arkansas and doesn't win 8 games, you don't think Arkansas and the Walmart folks are not going to come after every head coach, every administrator, every player they want? It's going to be open season just like Texas did and Ohio State did with our players. Arkansas, they've got all kind of money. We don't even know where we're going with all of this. It's just crazy. Here, I've got 2 quick things. One thing, would you rather? You remember that old game? Would you rather?
Would you rather? We used to do Would You Rather Wednesday. We used to, but
that's right. Hey, listen, would you rather go to the Democratic National Convention for 4 days or Tennessee for 4 days and do their homecoming and all that stuff without us playing?
Go Vols. Go Vols. Yeah, baby. Splitting the T always did something for me, man. It's just, woo. My heart flutters. Go Vols. If you're asking me, would you rather, go Vols. Yeah. Rocky Top, you'll never mean one darn thing. I'm sorry.
That's right. And here's my second thing.
Okay, now hold on. I'm going to spit this back to you. You tell me. Right. What would you rather do? You proposed it to me. Would you rather?
I would have to go, I would go get Orange on and go pick up trash on the side of the road up in Knoxville like they do, all those guys dressed in orange. They do a great job picking up the trash on the side of the road, but I guess I would just go do that. because I don't think I could take Chicago right now.
Yeah,
Good
that is a freak show, man. I mean, it's like when you went to you remember going to the State Fair up in Birmingham?
Oh yeah.
What was the city that was in? It was Fairfield. But you would go up and you'd pay like $2 to look at the three-legged human, or you know
right.
You know what I mean? Like they'd have all this crazy stuff, right? I mean, it'd be a mermaid or something. It would be like you'd go up as a kid. I mean, I remember walking up and be like, whoa. I mean,
that's a great analogy because, the outside of the convention center is just as bad as the outside of Fairfield because you can't get through all those protesters. Those folks are nuts. Yeah, I mean, if they really hate America so bad, I'll buy you a plane ticket. Go on, get all of these folks that are dressed up in so weird costumes, all that stuff, have them go actually live in an Arab country.
Yeah, it's a freak show, man. It is an absolute freak show. It is.
All right. Well, I got one other thing I need to talk. Have you gotten a chance to see the NFL show on Max, the Hard Knocks? Because Coach Saban was on there, and I haven't heard you talk about it.
No, I saw a video. You talking about that Coach Saban that could not coach? Is that what?
The guy that lost it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He got there and he had some really great points about talking to the Chicago coach about their new quarterback that came from USC. Do not stack all of this, expectations on him. Expectations kill performance because instead of trying to be your best, you're trying to be what they think your best should be. It was just quintessential Saban. And that's where I want to be with this football team. I hear a lot of guys, just saying that this team's going to be the greatest thing in the world. And y'all, everybody, you don't think the Wisconsin Badgers are not waiting on us to give us their very best? And, we got Tennessee and LSU and Georgia. I mean, we have got murderer's row for a schedule. And if we lose 2 games this year, don't jump off the bus. We got the right man in the coach's seat. He's doing. He looks like he's just doing a phenomenal job in recruiting, the morale of the players. I'm very excited about the future, but that we make sure that we temper what we're talking about with expectations, because I know what we're used to, but this is a new day. I'm even getting a new shirt to wear to the games. I've been wearing the same shirt for 16 years, and I'm switching it up, Ryan Fowler.
Okay. So go back to the excitement level. Where is it for you? Because it sounds like there's some anxiety. Speaking of Tennessee,
I am excited, but there is a lot of issues that we're going to have to address very quickly on the defense. We are such a young secondary. We're playing guys that have never seen
But Alf, is that not the new college football, though?
It is. But
the days of taking a 5-star Marlon Humphrey and saying, okay, young man, you're never going to be able to get on the field as a freshman because our defense is too complex. We're going to wait, but we're only going to have you for 2 years after you redshirt. Those days, that's not happening anymore.
No, you got to get them ready, like you just said. Get them ready, get them on the field. You got to do that. And but I just, we just need to temper these things because the coach just got here. There's hiccups that we don't even know about yet that might happen. An offensive line.
Alf, are you being paid by Kalen DeBoer? I mean, are you? Let me look. Hold on, I'm going to look at this new board of trustees meeting. Let's see if Alf is listening. Let's see if Alf is listening on this board of trustees. Salary. Let me look. Hold on, I'm looking. Hold on, I want to see if you're. I mean, you could be paid. This could be a plant call.
I know if you and I didn't know each other, you might think that.
I mean, is Kalen DeBoer on three-way here giving you, information, like handing you little sticky notes or something?
We just need to be careful here. I just be careful with our expectations. All I'm saying. And
okay.
And I got one more thing.
All right, but now hold on. What are okay? All right. So what are expectations? Like, what are too much in your opinion? Like, if I say Alabama's going to win a national title, is that too much?
Yeah, that's too much.
Okay. How about an SEC title? Is that too much?
Right now, yeah.
Okay, how about a playoff team?
For Alf. I think we're going to be a playoff team. We're going to be a playoff team.
Okay, we are going to. Okay.
I mean, we got 12 teams to get in there. I don't think there's 11 teams in the country better enough.
All right, beating LSU, Tennessee, Oklahoma on the road.
If we can beat our Big Four, and don't forget Missouri. Our Big Four games, though, if we can go 2 out of 4 with those, we're in the playoffs.
Okay.
Don't you think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we're a playoff team. Yeah. I think it would take major injuries at multiple positions for Alabama not to be a playoff team.
Yeah, but we got that Georgia game, man. What red marker do they got that thing circled in? You don't think they want to come in here and just whoop us? Good, and every team does. But Georgia, man, we've just got a lot of football to be played, and we need to get behind this team. And the first time we have a game like we did in Tampa last year, we don't need to get all over this coach.
All right.
I mean, they were ready for Saban to be gone after Tampa last year, and that's.
Two questions: who's going to lead this team in tackles?
Yeah, Malachi's already off the board, isn't he?
Well, no. You pick it.
I think Malachi.
Okay. All right, give me the number of tackles.
Man, I don't even know. 80?
Okay, 80 is not taken. All right, so how are you voting for Bama Nick? Bama Nick own segment on Thursdays. Sponsored by PBR.
I would love to see Ryan Fowler have something sponsored by PBR.
Okay.
I like it.
Oh, so you're voting? You're voting yes? Okay.
Yeah, I like it, man.
I mean, I tell you what, I realized Bama Nick's got like his little fan club. I
just like a curve. No, I like a curveball every once in a while. Okay. And by the way, this show is you have an easier time getting into Alabama Power during a storm than getting in the show anymore. It's so dang popular.
Man, Alex, what kind words, man. Thank you, man.
I mean, this show is done, And let me say one more thing. I promise I'll shut up.
Okay, you're fine.
The guy, Corey, what's his name?
Corey from
Miller.
Frisco.
Corey Miller.
Oh, Corey.
No, Corey Miller. Good grief! That guy's he's trying to get our coach to go to the NFL after 2 years. I mean, I know he's trying to get callers to call in, but man, if he's not a wolf in sheep's clothing, I don't see how Christian does it. I mean, I can't even call in because the guy A, makes no sense, and B, he's such an anti-Alabama guy. I just can't stand that. Anyway, that's my opinion. That's Al's.
Al.
Thanks, Ryan. Great show.
Thank you for your phone call.
All right,
different strokes, different folks. We'll continue with more of the game. We'll get back to phone calls coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We're asking you your excitement level. We'll continue what we did yesterday as far as the defensive side of the football. Kane Womack audio. He said what? We'll talk about it 3 minutes away. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
The Northport City Council will receive an annual salary of $15,500 beginning in November 2025. The council president gets a bump to $17,500 and the mayor to $22,000. The proposed Dawkins subdivision near Shelton State will go to the Tuscaloosa City Council without the total backing from the city's Planning and Zoning Commission. Alabama delegates attending the Democratic National Convention in Chicago say the pending nomination of Vice President Kamala Harris.
Or text DEAL to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A sunny sky this afternoon. The high today 89. Tonight the weather feeling more like fall. Clear with a low at 61. And we stay dry tomorrow and Thursday. Lots of sunshine both days. Highs between 87 and 90. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Catch every game and every moment right here. This is your home of Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Clip because he said something that really grabbed us from a lot of different ways. I mean, he said several things that kind of grabbed us. We're going to talk about young players in the next segment because he kind of said, okay, we're going to have to count on these guys. And that's kind of really close. I thought Alf had a really, really solid phone call. Let's go here to back to Kane Womack on the opening comments.
I thought it was an incredibly physical scrimmage. probably the most physical that I can remember being a part of. Thought I saw a gear from our players, another gear, another level of intensity that I had not seen yet. And that was really exciting going into, really the last scrimmage. We talk about this all the time. Game day is always different. It's a different mentality. And there's nothing that we can do, to emulate exactly what game day is going to be, but a scrimmage is the closest simulation that we can give you to exactly what game day is going to be like. And so jobs are won and lost in those situations. There's a different level of intensity in that moment, right? There's not quite as many reps overall, right? You're just getting more game style reps. And I thought our guys rose to the level from a physicality standpoint. Their execution was really good with our tackling, significantly improved. And then there was some really good situational work that we're doing. I think Coach DeBoer, Kalen does a tremendous job of just getting our guys ready from a situational standpoint and preparing them for all the scenarios that can come up in a game. We may work a situation that, we may play 1,300 snaps next year, and that we may only run that situation one time, right? But I think we do a really good job of covering those things. So.
And then we're going to come back with the youth of this football team, because this is the new college football. This is where we're headed. This is where we're at. Let me remind you about the Wharf. If you're looking for a new pair of jeans, Wrangler, Levi, Lee, you'll find those. Carhartt clothing, Rocky clothing, 60 different brands of boots. They close at 6 p.m. daily, Monday through Saturday. You go over and see my friends Mark and Lee. People in West Alabama work extremely hard. You got to have the apparel that matches that hard work. It is the Wharf, located on McFarland Boulevard. If you're traveling westbound, you pass by El Gran, you pass by the Blue Plate, you went too far, you can turn around. It is the Wharf between Blue Plate and the old Winn-Dixie Shopping Center. You'll find it right there. It is the Wharf since 1976, the work in Western headquarters for the entire family. Go over and see those guys. Tell them the game sent you. School starts on the campus of the University of Alabama. Learning session. We'll do it next. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230, WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Or find us on Facebook, Andrew Conifer Agency. Once again, you can reach us at 205-722-9201. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Blue Spring Living Water is located in Bluntsville, Alabama, Blount County, about an hour north of Birmingham. Blue Spring Living Water is harvested and bottled from a centuries-old natural spring on a private family farm. Blue Spring is an all-natural water source that flows just under 1 million gallons a day. They have partnered with Waterway of Alabama, and they've been in the water delivery business for over 30 years. To have Blue Spring Living Water delivered right to your home, right to your front door every month. New customers get their 5 jugs for $50, and the empties are exchanged every month for new ones. I know we have it at the Fowler household. We drink more water because of BlueSpringLivingWater.com. You can sign up at 205-602-3426. Talk to someone directly. Blue Spring Living Water can also be found. Mark Smart down.
These changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
The best sports talk show in all of Alabama. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Boulevard, 205-758-2455. If you're looking for the Nuke's Q sandwich, which is the #1 sandwich across the franchise, the French dip sandwich, the pimento cheese, the chicken salad, the great salads, the California style pizzas, the 12-layer cakes from catering, And I know when you look at the campus of the University of Alabama, always a lot of fun activities there. If you're on campus with some reason, make it a part of your day. It's Nuke's Eatery, 205 University Boulevard, 205-758-2455, 205 University Boulevard, 205-758-2455. Let's go back to Kane Womack talking about the youth, and then we're going to Josh in Georgia. Josh, get ready, and then Chris and Florence right behind him, and then others. Let's continue here. Let's go to Kane Womack on the youth of this football team. He was asked about King Mack. He took us down a couple of different roads here. This is the defensive coordinator at the University of Alabama.
King, I think King's athletically, he's very fast individual, very physical. He's got some really good instincts. He seems to be really making plays on the ball. I would say when we go scrimmage-like situations, he tends to elevate his game. I don't know if, you call the word a gamer or whatever it may be, right? But I think he's a very instinctive football player. Been very pleased with how he's kind of taken to the defense. Young players in the defense, right? You're going to see some of these guys play, and we're going to take some lumps doing that, right? Young players, again, experience is finite, right? They have to go through some of those experiences to deal with those things. But we're going to get those players in. They're going to play in meaningful snaps in games. And you hope, right, that the same King Mack or Red Morgan or Zabian Brown or whoever it may be is not the same guy at the end of the season, right? They continue to elevate their game and grow. And if they do that, right, we're going to be in an okay position from a defensive standpoint. You asked a question a second ago.
And so that's one of the topics we'll dive into, and we'll get back to that. But you look at Kane Womack, this is where we're at in college football. Let's go to Josh in Georgia. Josh, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Good afternoon, Ryan. How is everything, buddy?
Man, I'm great. All right, so here we go. I got a few questions for you. Describe your excitement level 11 days away.
Through the absolute roof.
All right, but is it the most it's been in 5 years? Is it the most it's been in 10 years, 15 years?
I would say for sure. I would say for sure 10 years, because going into that Derrick Henry Heisman National Championship year, I was pretty excited.
Okay, that's 2015. So you're saying it's the most in 2015 for you?
Yeah, for sure. So, and I get hungry for football just because it's football. But living over here in Georgia, watching the guys from Alabama, it's like, dude, it's like a cold drink of water after, mowing the lawn all day or doing some hard work, and you sweat and you get that cold drink of water. That's what Alabama football does for me.
Okay.
So,
and
you know what I mean? It's like that just indescribable feeling. It's here. So, yeah, definitely excited about it. 11 days away. What else you got? So I know you're doing leading tacklers.
We're going to do tackles. Obviously Alabama got a big 5-star commitment. A.K. Deer, Quitman, Mississippi says, I'm rolling with the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah. I've been listening to a couple of Alabama podcasts. So of course I listen to your show and I try to listen to it live, but if I miss it, I can go back and catch it. But, Bama Online, one of their guys has a podcast. I know you feature Charlie Potter on here. And
I know Charlie well. Charlie and I are from the same
coworkers, area. I forgot which one it was. Jimmy Stein. I don't know if you've ever featured Jimmy.
I know Jimmy. They do. I guess I've never met Jimmy, but I know Jimmy just based on social networks and his.
They do Locked on Bama, and they've been talking about a bunch of these recruits. And A.K. Deer has been a name that they've been kind of watching and marked any day now. Once he decommitted from Ole Miss.
Well, if you follow Eron Hodges, I think I think that's the way you say Eron. I think he's been talking a lot about deer hunting, and he'll spell it incorrectly. It's kind of funny a little bit because first time I saw it, I was like, hey, man, this guy's talking about deer hunting. What in the world? We're in July. I'm a deer hunter, but trust me, it doesn't get on my mind at this point.
No. What's on my mind at this point is football. Because August, if you can get to August, football's right around the corner because Labor Day weekend is when we kick off. Of course, there's a few games that kick off this weekend. Nothing really that matters. If you want to watch it, you got the Georgia Tech, Florida State, and Ireland, and I think Thursday night Minnesota and North Carolina.
Here's the way I describe week 0. You ever been to a steakhouse and you got like a 3-hour wait?
I've been close to it.
Okay, 2-hour wait, hour and a half. Just use 90 minutes, hour and a half.
Sure.
You walk up and you get there, and they just happen to have a pack of crackers on the table. Somehow, some way, they got pushed over in the Sweet and Low or the Splenda pile, and you're like, man, crackers. I mean, crackers. Are you kidding? I mean, we got a cracker, and then something just happens. They bring you some ranch, and you're like, man, I'm in heaven. That's what week 0 is. It's the bread and butter prior to the meal. It's the crackers that's left on the table. It's just something that gets you going, right? It's just understanding that you're not going to starve to death. I mean, we've been through the desert with no water. You mentioned water a couple of minutes ago. I mean, we've been through a 240-day drought. And it started with us getting our butt kicked out in the Rose Bowl. We've had our kind of feelings hurt a little bit. We've had it stomped on a little bit.
Now, I can say this. As of recent years, I don't think there has been a longer off season, though, since 2021. Long. It's been fun, though. Has it not been? This one's been fun. This one has not dragged. This one has had things going on constantly ever since the day that we did not think would ever come has came. The GOAT retired, but within 72 hours, 49 to be exact, the athletic director told the team, give me this time. 49 hours later, we get the probable, looks like best replacement for the greatest coach of all time. I mean, he's won everywhere he's been, and it looks like that he's seriously just going to take that, build on it here. He's got the most talented roster he's ever had, because people ought to go back and look at the stats for that Washington team, and they ought to go back and watch that Washington-Texas game. I finally got a chance to sit and watch the whole game just a short time ago within the last few days, and I watched the whole game. And I'm telling you, there's things that stick out to me, and I just wonder, with this, as they say, youth on the defense, how ready they will be ready to go, but I think they'll be ready to go. I think that defense is going to surprise a lot of people. Now, granted, they won't probably do everything they could do against Western Kentucky, but we'll have a couple of takeaways. I just got that feeling. I know you said yesterday to somebody, Caleb Downs will probably be kicking himself for not staying in Tuscaloosa, because he could be a featured dude in this defense.
Yeah, the defense,
so,
especially.
It was Drew.
Well, I mean, I think
it was you and Drew yesterday.
You're going to see, Josh. I don't know the answer to this. I'm gonna have to reach out to some historians. I know quite a few. AP Stedham's one, Steve Townsend's another one, Barry Allen's another great one. Barry's one of the smartest stats guys around the University of Alabama. Matter of fact, he's so good, and I don't mind being corrected if I miss something. Yesterday I put up Coach Bryant wore number 12 in 1933. Well, it just so happens I was wrong. It was 1934. And he corrected me and said, hey, it was 1934, which, hey, I looked it up and he was dead on the money. He was. And so Coach Bryant wore the number 12 jersey as an end in 1934. All right. So, but these people that love history, I would love to know, when's the last time that we had a secondary member that had, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 sacks? I mean, maybe not double digits. Because I'm going to make a quiet prediction here.
Okay.
You're going to have I'm not saying they're going to lead the team in sacks. That's not what I'm saying. But with some of their blitz packages, you're going to have secondary members that are going to get quite a few sacks. Now, you're going to give up plays because you're going to take chances. But they're going to bring the heat. They're going to blitz you and blitz you and blitz you and blitz you. And if you're a new quarterback, good luck.
Right. Well, even for some of the seasoned quarterbacks, I mean, I feel a little bit sorry for, because with Georgia, and watch what I'm going to say here, and I'm going to be negative. I always got to be negative when I talk about the Dogs. When Georgia keeps having guys, arrested, blue lighted, all that, I know they're playing at least the first game without that Ra Thomas, maybe even more games. I don't know.
No, he's gone. He's gone. Yeah, he's gone. He's suspended indefinitely. He's gone off the team. No longer a part of it.
Be on him.
Yeah, he's completely off the roster.
But
gone.
See you. When you take that away, you got, I think, A.J. Dillon's still around, who made some good plays last year. And I'm just saying, you got to appreciate good football whenever you see it, even though it looks surprisingly like we used to in certain things. But if you keep getting guys, blue lighted and everything, you're not going to have any of these key receivers or any kind of good receivers to throw to. When we are loaded 6 to 8 guys deep, back to what you and Drew were talking about yesterday, 6 to 8 guys deep, and that's even without Jalen Hale right now. And I think our defense, may even surprise some of the seasoned guys like Carson Beck. I mean, I think that's really the most seasoned quarterback we play. I mean, Brady Cook came back for his senior year for Mizzou. I mean, but I'm just saying, I think these guys are going to surprise. And something I was trying to look up, he's talking about a secondary member with double-digit tackles? Or how do you word that, Wago? You said, when's the last time we've seen a secondary member with, what was it?
I'm not saying, I don't think they can get to double-digit sacks, but I think you can. Sacks. No, I don't think you. I don't know if you're going to see double-digit sacks, but you might see a safety get 6, 7, 8 sacks.
Right.
You may see one get 15 quarterback hurries. I mean, you're going to see pressure. All I'm saying is, I don't know who in a secondary member all time. Leads Alabama in sacks from a secondary member. I mean, I could look through the stats book, but I mean, you would have to go beyond the 10 leaders. Like, you got 10 all-time sack guys. There's not one of those are defensive backs. I'm not saying that there will be, but you can see a team.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm trying not to give too much away, but there is one player that they've got a blitz package for, and you don't know when he's coming. And Alabama's offensive line has struggled with it because it's kind of a delayed blitz. It's one of those.
I'm going to say, I bet I could guess who it is. I'm at least got 2 names that I'd throw out there, and you don't have to confirm or deny either one of them. But 2 names that stick out to me from what I've heard about these last 2 scrimmages, and it's either Red Morgan or possibly King Mack, because they said King Mack been making a little bit of an impact.
No, it's just think. Okay, you don't like. I like.
But then
what's my favorite? What's
Malachi.
My favorite drink, Josh?
Half and half tea.
That should be the hint that you need to know right there. Half and half tea. Just let that marinate for a couple of minutes.
I'll have to think on that one, so I won't
This
do it
particular player had an NIL deal with a company that's pretty famous for tea in this region.
Interesting. But something you had said, I had to look up Ronnie Harrison.
And that tea company is in Bessemer, Alabama, by the way.
Yeah, Milo's. I know. Milo's.
By the way, I want to call out Milo's. I want to call out Milo's, okay? Yeah, I want to call them out right here. I want to call them out. Please incorporate half and half tea.
Right.
I'm having to buy 1 jug of unsweet and 1 jug of sweet, and I'm having to mix it. So I'm at about a 60-40 guy now. I'm not even half and half anymore. I've moved to about a 60-40. Now, you're talking about confusing servers when you go to restaurants and say, I want a 60-40. They look at you like, huh? Yeah, so that's where I'm at. My doctor wants me to become an 80-20 guy. 80 unsweet, 20% sweet, with a goal of becoming 100-0 guy. I don't know if I'll ever get there, Josh. I just don't know, man. I mean, I'm struggling. I mean, it's
But anyways, I had to go back and look at Ronnie Harrison's numbers, but he didn't have double-digit sacks, even though Ronnie Harrison was one of my Saban favorite defensive backs that I've seen. He'd creep down sometimes by the line, but anyways, as far as leading tacklers, I have got to stick with my boy that I said would be a breakout star, and he's also one of our captains, and that's D-Law. I think D-Law, he's the signal caller. He's got a headset in this year. I think that is going to be a pivotal dude in this defense. And, I mean, he used to wear number 32, and I know he said he switched to 0 because he wanted to build his own legacy. But we know I think it was C.J. Mosley, Dylan Moses. I mean, we've had some great guys wear the 32 in the crimson and white. But no matter the number, I think D-Law is going to be the dude this year, not just because he's the signal caller. Even if he wasn't the signal caller, I just like watching his build. And, I mean, last year he made some plays.
All right, give me the number. So you want to go Deontay Lawson. Who do you want to go?
Yep. I'm going to go – somebody win 100. I'm going to best him one, like the 101 Dalmatians. I'm going to go 101 if that ain't taken.
Josh, I got it, man. I got to run. I'm up against this break.
Yeah, buddy. But, I appreciate it.
You are wearing an Alabama shirt today, correct?
Oh, yeah. I wore one that said Ultimate Team. Ain't no place like Titletown. And whenever I get ready to get cleaned up from the work day, I got me another one ready to go. I got like 60 shirts. I mean, 60. That's polos, T-shirts, and that's not even counting jackets, hoodies, and zip-ups.
Got it, man.
I got like 60 shirts, dude. Yeah. One for every day of the week, probably 3 weeks running.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you,
man.
Twice.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy, roll Tide.
Thank you. Hey, we'll continue with more of the game. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Visit Mezwins.com. I've got this.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alabama Credit Union with the official countdown to Alabama Crimson Tide football right here on the game, alabamacu.com. The mobile app saves a lot of time. The mobile deposits, checking, savings, mortgage, home equity loan, financing a vehicle, the great competitive rates. Alabama
around and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Northport Power Equipment, largest inventory Husqvarna dealer in the Southeast. You'll find the Husqvarna models for residential and the professional landscapers, Skag commercial mowers, residential mowers, backpack blowers, handheld blowers, battery operated tools. The service department at Northport Power Equipment.
To Druid City Brewing Company on Saturday, August 24th. Doors open up at 3 p.m. Tickets are $10 with proceeds benefiting the Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelter. Learn more at ashfest.org.
Rumsey Environmental, a one-stop shop serving West Alabama for all of your waste removal needs. If you're in the construction business, take a little bit of stress out of your life. The construction debris removal containers customized to fit your job site. The portable toilet service. The storage containers to protect your valuables. It's Rumsey Environmental for that complete waste removal service. When you have...
You're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A sunny sky this afternoon, the high today 89. Tonight the weather feeling more like fall, clear with the low at 61. We stay dry tomorrow and Thursday, lots of sunshine both days, highs between 87 and 90. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
In Florence, get ready. We're coming to you. Coming up in 2 minutes, Brett McMurphy picked Alabama, number 2 team in the country, and to win the SEC. In 1 hour, he explains why. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles. Here's Dan Beyer.
Minnesota Vikings assistant coach and former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores was in the spotlight yesterday after critical comments were made about Flores by his former quarterback in Miami, Tua Tagovailoa. Flores today had an opportunity to respond to Tua's comments.
Specific to the comments that were made by Tua, I just want to say, look, I'm genuinely happy for the success that Tua's had, and I really wish him nothing but the best. And I think player relationships are very important to me. I think that's kind of the foundation of coaching.
The Lions got some good news. His head coach Dan Campbell said running back Jahmyr Gibbs will be available for the team's Week 1 opener Sunday night against the Rams. Gibbs is dealing with a hamstring injury in camp. Speaking of the Rams, they got good news. Matthew Stafford back practicing today. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski says that quarterback Deshaun Watson and the rest of the starters should expect to play against the Seahawks Saturday.
I got spirit, I got faith. I might bend, but I won't break. I'll fight the elements. And I'ma go down swinging. If I go down,
I want to remind you The pigskin kickoff that is going to be happening here coming up in a couple of weeks. Actually, couple of days, man. What have I said? Weeks? No, it's not a couple of weeks. It's actually a couple of days. It will be August the 26th. I don't know. I guess I'm a day behind. I better get in tune with this because it's going to be a big event. Got John Hannah coming in, Nate Oates, some great headliners when you look at it. I'll be on that stage interviewing both Cedric Burns, a good friend of mine, someone that I have known since my days as a student assistant at the University of Alabama Athletic Office. And Cedric Burns was someone that I've got to know. I think I have not shared this in the past because I never wanted to interfere with his job. And matter of fact, we'll go hunting together. And I never ask him one question about Alabama football or say, hey, because, you want to get away from that, right? Yes, that's the reason why you go out and enjoy the beautiful outdoors. But I'll get a chance to interview Cedric Burns, which has been someone who has been a friend of the University of Alabama for over 40 years. Let that sink in. He's worked for all different types of national championship coaches, including Coach Paul Bear Bryant, Coach Stallings, Coach Nick Saban, but he's worked with all those coaches in between too. So when you look out those statues, he's worked for a lot of those, and he can connect you with Alabama football. So he's going to have some great stories. John Hannah, the legendary Hall of Famer, College Football Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame, one of the greatest offensive linemen to ever play in the NFL. He's going to be with us. Nate Oates, Final Four, and we want to thank Nate Oates every day at 4 o'clock. We want to thank him for making it a great offseason too, because he provided a lot of content when you look at that team going to the Final Four. Nate Oates will be up on that stage, and he'll be sharing a lot of the upcoming season as Alabama is expected to be one of the top, 1, 2, or 3 teams in college basketball. Aaron Torres has already kind of went on a limb and says that he thinks his team's going to be number 1. So we'll see. And we're going to talk with Torres. Torres was on vacation last week. We'll have Torres on. If not tomorrow, we'll have him on Thursday. But Brett McMurphy is going to be coming up in 1 hour. He's going to explain why he loves Alabama at that number 2 spot. Courtney Morgan getting paid. And I was reading a couple of minutes ago, Mike Rodak put this up, talking about the market. And it was the Board of Trustees and Greg Byrne meeting. And he was talking about how the overall success, right, this recruiting, the way that you manage this, way that you're no longer giving assistant coaches 1-year deal. You're giving multiple year deals. But I was reading some of that conversation, that Board of Trustees meeting with Greg Byrne, and then also, one of the Board of Trustees members, Brooks. So, and then another trustee member was talking about, you look at this salary of $500,825. I can add to this that there was multiple schools, not just one, multiple schools coming after Courtney Morgan. That they really said, hey, we must get this salary up to even more, because it's not just a 1-year thing, right? And you need to get him to a big deal. And then, you make him a compensation. I'm sure there'll be somewhat of a buyout, right? You want to put that on a guy that is highly sought after. Courtney Morgan is the general manager of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And like I said in the 2 o'clock hour, people say, oh, it's just a new terminology for director of football operations. No, Alabama has one of those as well. Ellis Ponder is the director of football operations. But Courtney Morgan is also a big role of managing all this portal stuff. When we featured him, we were in Dallas. He was still in Tuscaloosa, but we featured him that Monday. We were at SEC Media Days. I mean, he was the first guest at 2 o'clock when we rolled out in Dallas at SEC Media Days. And we listened to Courtney Morgan kind of explain a lot of his responsibilities, recruiting, that cold summer, that theme of cold summer. We learned about cold summer, where that kind of came from. It was a song that was Cold Summer. And we asked Kalen DeBoer, about that. And he said, well, I like that song too. So even though we've let Journey kind of almost pretend to be his number 1 group. So Nate Oates coming back there. So John Hannah, Nate Oates, Pigskin Kickoff. It'll be August the 26th. Doors will open right around 5 o'clock, 5:15. Dinner will be served. And then we're going to have a big speaking engagement. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. We had Reese Davis last year, and this thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Let's go to Chris in Florence. Chris, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
All is well, Ryan. How you doing today?
I'm good. I got a few questions for you.
Well, first things first, I just want to tell you and Bama Nick, thank y'all so much for accusing me of the Pabst Blue Ribbon, stealing his Pabst Blue Ribbon that day. I was talking about the 1,000 yards, 1,700 yards for Jam Miller. I had to check into rehab. It was so bad that I had 3 LSU fans working with me. You had two Tennessee fans in there working with me. So I just want to say thank y'all very, very much.
Well, you are more than welcome. We do what we can in the situations that we need to do it in.
I never would have
so
thought
are you
that
voting?
I got accused
Are you
drinking.
voting? Are you voting for Bama Nick?
Of course, I'll have to vote for Bama Nick, and as long as he lets me come on with it one time, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay. All right. Well, it's when you look
All right,
at.
now, what's your question?
Hold on, I just got another box of ballots. Somebody just dropped off another box of.
Good.
I don't even know where these ballots are coming from. They're just everywhere. I mean, Bama Nick has
Where's
literally.
the hyena when you need it?
Well,
Where's the laughing hyena.
Bama Nick has stolen the election. He asked for votes, and then every day we're getting another box of ballots being delivered. We don't even know who these people. We don't even know who these people are. They just keep dropping off boxes of ballots, and then when we open the ballots, the name is literally just one yes. It's yes, yes, yes. So Bama Nick, you've got your 5 o'clock Thursday segment. It's here. I mean, unless there's like a U-Haul truck coming in, which there's quite a few of those out front.
Pretty sure Bama Nick ran away with it.
I'm telling you, if that hyena's around there, it's probably that hyena that keeps laughing all the time.
Yeah, Bama Nick is from Georgia, so it's
and he was laughing probably all the way out the door when he dropped off the ballot box.
Well, I don't think it looked like Bama Nick. This person was didn't. I don't know what Bama Nick looks like, but I think. Yeah. So so are you?
Probably had pants on.
So you're voting for a yes, regardless of how this election happens with Bama Nick. You're voting yes.
Yes, I'm going to vote for Bama Nick. He's a Trumper, so I'll vote for him. And
okay.
He's on the right side. So and I really for him. I was laughing the whole time when y'all were having that little banter back and forth. It was so funny. I was driving literally off.
Well, he busted me. He busted me because I was out campaigning last week. I was really not at the beach, Chris. I mean, I know I was.
And you were at the beach. You don't lie. But I did do some math on that for that 1,700 yards. If Jam Miller averages 106 yards a game, he'll get that over 16 games.
Say it one more time. Sorry.
I said 16 games.
Okay.
Divided by 1,700 is 106 right on the dot.
Okay. It must have been your prediction from last week.
Yeah, that was my prediction from last week that y'all said I was stealing from Bama Nick's PBR stash.
So you really think that's a reasonable stat, though? I mean, 106 yards per 16 games?
No, I actually went back and I thought about it. I'm like, nah, Fowler and Bama Nick were right. Y'all talked some sense into me. So I'm going to go. I'd like to change that, but I know it's already set in stone, so I'll go 1,000.
Okay. Yeah, and if it's okay, we would prefer not to, because if I let you change it, that means everybody else can change too. So I
understand.
Okay, because
I'm a defensive guy. Anyway.
Yeah, we call that chaos.
We call that rigging an election.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, well that's what it is, Chris. But yeah, so if it's okay, we'd prefer. But we are doing not linebackers, defensive players, total tackles today.
Okay. All right.
If you want to throw out a guy that's going to lead this team in total tackles.
Well, I mean, I've heard from what I've heard, D-Law's been getting a lot of love, so I'm going to stay with Deontay Lawson, 103 tackles.
Okay. Yep, 103. It's you. Describe your excitement level as we are now 11 days away. 11 days away.
Well, I know I'm excited. I'm really excited for the season, and it has been, like you said, an off season that has been. It's not been like a normal off season, and Coach DeBoer's done an amazing job. And I called in on Wyatt's show today and told Wyatt, I said, University of Alabama got the first biggest win of 2024 when they signed Courtney Morgan to that contract extension. I mean, that was a huge, huge win right there. And then the big win was stealing another big offensive weapon from the state of Mississippi and the number one overall running back. And so that's two big wins to start off 2024. And we haven't even kicked the season off. So I'm really excited to see what this season is going to do. And I can't wait to see what the defense is going to look like, the 4-2-5. And I can't really wait to see what what next Saturday night at 6 o'clock is going to look like. I really can't wait to see what this team's going to do. They're going to shock some folks.
Hey, we were just talking about our little skit that we were doing about election ballots. We've got someone out in Houston, LaFizzle. I don't know how you say it. LFIZZAL. Says the election ballot call in skits are corny. Okay. Well, Chris, you and I are corny.
Okay.
So,
well, guess what? Let me guess. He's a Texas fan.
I would say that he's probably a Longhorn guy, or he could be a Texas A&M guy, or could be an Alabama guy. He could be keeping an eye on us, right? Just making sure we're okay. Just so.
Yeah. He also could be a Barner. You never know, too.
Roll Tide. He could be. I doubt it. I mean, we don't really attract too many Barners, but.
Yeah, I don't know what AC in Bangladesh is. I just don't know what he is. And
he doesn't. Chris, he doesn't either.
I'm telling you, you said there were 3 no's today for Bama Nick's 5 o'clock segment. I was sitting there and I was thinking one of them was probably a big HE double hockey stick no, and it's AC from Bangladesh. And then the other 2, I have no idea who really doesn't like Bama Nick. So because I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, we've got a few no's, but the overwhelming has been yes.
If this happens in November 5th, this is going to be a great 4 years.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Bama Nick has he told us he was going to take care of Georgia. He's kind of got a little practice run here. So
Bama Nick, you better not let us down. The Braves have already let me down this year, so you don't let me down.
Roll Tide. Thank you, Chris.
Roll Tide, Ryan. Have a good one, man. Bye now.
Right back to you, man. Thank you so much. Let's go to Joe in Dothan. Joe, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
All is well, Ryan. Sorry about that earlier. I was on hold, and the DNC shut me down. It's a shame. They found out that I was a big fan of Paul from Lincoln, T-Town Tony, and Democracy Dan, and they said we can't have this. So they made a call to Big Tech, and bam, shut me down. But I'm back.
Well, Elon may be on your team.
There you go.
I mean, it makes me want to go buy a Tesla. I'm a Toyota man.
I tell you, Ryan,
I can't afford a Tesla, but I'm dreaming.
Ryan, you mentioned Mike Rodak earlier. I forget. I apologize. There's so many. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there's a lot of different sites that cover Alabama sports. And
Mike's
is it 20? Is it
Bama 247?
Bama 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bama 247.
Yeah. Because it was his site, and I want to make sure I got it right. Earlier today, I think I sent you the tweet. They put out an article, and it's nothing against them, but they had asked Greg Byrne about naming the field after Coach Saban, and I won't. Long story short, he just kind of said that a lot of things were considered, and that's what they came to. And Ryan, first let me preface this by saying I'm a huge fan of Greg Byrne. Okay, I'm not criticizing him, but I got to tell you, Ryan, they got this wrong. If anybody ever in the history of sports deserves to have their name put on a stadium, it's Coach Saban. And people would say, well, the statue, they're going to name it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. And furthermore, I don't understand this conversation I keep hearing about, well, you couldn't take Denny's name. You don't have to take anybody's name off. Just add his name to it. I make the point that, don't you see people all the time already that call it BDS, short for Bryant-Denny Stadium? You could basically it'd still be BDS, Bryant-Denny Stadium. Yeah, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, you can market it.
To me, it's just frustrating, Ryan, because it seems like the most obvious thing ever to me. And it just blows my mind, honestly, that, for the vast majority of our fan base seems perfectly okay with this. And I'm not trying to be critical, Ryan, but I think it's laughable. I think his name not going on the stadium is a borderline insult. And I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about it. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers. I love Greg Byrne, but I just think it's wrong. And I hope one day either him or the next athletic director or somebody will wake up and do the right thing and put his name on the stadium. And I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, I was a little bit frustrated when I saw it. I was like, we need more than just this, okay? So if they do something beyond this, okay, it becomes more acceptable. I just don't feel like that when I say coming up Saturday, August the 31st, Alabama's going to be playing Western Kentucky at Saban Field. I know they'll do it South Florida, but I'm just saying, I don't know if I'm going to be using this. I'd like to because I want to be able to show respect, but, how many people is going to say, welcome to Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium? Unless we just pull a, full intense marketing where can you really?
Well, you see it with these other stadiums, Ryan. Like it's not. Nobody calls it Pat Dye Field. Nobody calls it Steve Spurrier Field. Nobody does that. They call it the Swamp.
Heck, I didn't even know
it was. They call it Jordan Jordan Stadium.
Spurrier Field. That's what the Swamp.
Right.
So it's Ben Hill Griffin.
I think they named it after
Spurrier Field at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium.
Right. And people just call it the Swamp. It's ridiculous. Okay?
Same with Georgia. Dooley Field.
It is Dooley Field. Yeah,
that's right. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, that's another good one.
And listen, I'm fine with them naming. It's not that I have a problem with them naming the field after him. Of course not. I'm just saying, if I knew that, if you told me, well, okay, well, years from now, of course, maybe after he passes away, whatever, at some point his name will be added to the stadium, I'd probably be okay with that. But if it's just this, I got a problem with that. That's how I feel about it.
Well, and you do look at Coach Paul Bear Bryant. The stadium was rededicated back in 1997, I believe it was, against BYU. That's when the stadium was rededicated. So you went from Denny Stadium to Bryant-Denny Stadium. That was not a bad transition, right? It became Bryant-Denny Stadium. I just hope it's beyond that, right? It's got to be something else because in my mind, this is going to get me in so much trouble, but that's okay. I'm already in trouble. I'm getting emails from leftists left and right, so it's okay. I stay in.
And Ryan, can I real quick?
Okay.
Let me mention you were saying that guy's probably a Texas fan. Unfortunately, Ryan, all you got to do is go look around Alabama fan Twitter, and a lot of you might be surprised. And this is not a good thing, but there's a lot more woke Alabama fans than I think a lot of people realize. Unfortunately,
Caitlin Collins being one of them.
Oh Lord, bless her heart, bless.
So, and I'm just talking about common folks, not even people like that.
In Pfeiffer, Reese Pfeiffer, they teach unbalanced, professional journalism, unbiased. But so I'm sure Caitlin took all great notes. I'm sure she was an honor student. But you look at what else is next. When you look at Coach Paul Bear Bryant, think about how many things are named after Coach Paul Bear Bryant. Many, many. How do you counter that? Because in my eyes, Nick Saban's a better football coach. He won 6 in 17 years. Coach Bryant won 6 in 25. He reestablished something that I don't think a lot of people, and a lot of your new Alabama fans, they don't understand when we say this. Joe, he may have saved a university.
Well, you just look at like you just said, Ryan, I don't think everybody realizes what he accomplished on the football field, but I don't, especially the average fan, especially maybe some of the younger ones, I don't think, like you said, I don't think they have any idea what he did for this university in the city of Tuscaloosa financially, just from every aspect that you could think of.
From an economic standpoint in this state, he reestablished something that this state holds in pretty high honor, is college football. So when you back up, I'm with you, Joe. I just don't know what else. What else is named after? Can you call the practice facility? Saban. I know it's a Hank Crisp indoor, but maybe that's where it's at. Coach Mal Moore. I love because if you hear me, I reference Mal Moore football building all the time. I say that because it's a respect thing to Coach Mal Moore for what he gave the University of Alabama. Well, not just as a player, but as assistant coach, but as an athletic director. And he hired Nick Saban. And one of Mal Moore's biggest accomplishments, hiring Nick Saban. We named an entire football building because he hired, the greatest football coach out there. Well, how do we pay respect to the greatest?
This is true. And listen, I'm not trying to say I don't have all the answers. No, I don't know as far as
you could rename the Black Warrior River for all I care.
Exactly.
Sabanville. We'll drop Tuscaloosa with Sabanville.
Right. I'm just saying, like, if they're saying, you know, if what that man has done is not enough to have his name put on the stadium, don't ever put anybody's name on any stadium ever again.
Yeah, fair.
Because, you know, I don't see how you could if you don't put his. That's my hope.
All right.
But I tell you, Ryan, as far as the question is who's going to lead the team in tackles?
Yeah, who is it?
I'm going to go with Jahad Campbell.
Okay. So you're going to go with Jahad Campbell.
I mean, there's a lot of Deontay Lawson, so I got to kind of pick somebody else, you know.
Okay. And then where you want to go with total tackles?
I'm going to go with 87.
Okay. We are still collecting votes. Bama Nick, yes or no?
I'll give him a yes, Ryan, but I got to tell you, I think this thing's rigged, and I think if he gets a segment, this should not interfere in any way with our former regular caller, T-Town Tony's Pharmacy at Midtown segment. That's all I'm saying.
The Pharmacy at Midtown, and we've got to come up with a sponsor, and we don't know how we're going to be able to facilitate this. How do we get someone to endorse Bama Nick?
Well, we know there's no shortage of Ryan, there's no shortage of pubs and bars in Tuscaloosa. Surely Industry or somebody would want to jump on board, you know, and sponsor this segment.
Okay. Well, I had to let Bama Nick. I mean, he Bama Nick, who do you want to be? I mean, since he's calling the shots around here, maybe he could just tell us who he wants to be.
He could just pick. Yeah, that's right. He's the number one caller. He's earned that right.
Yeah.
The Standard doubles as a bar.
Oh, thestandardbama.com. Thestandardbama.com.
Well, there you go.
So that's the new presenting sponsor of Bama Nick. So, Bama Nick, we're not bringing a pizza to America's Georgia, though. I can promise you. DoorDash is not.
And they got to put a pizza on the menu and call it the Bama Nick. That would be special.
Okay. I mean,
I'm sure they'll appreciate our terms that we're coming up with here.
Yeah. I mean, they're over here working deals with with wide receivers and quarterbacks and all this, and they got Bama Nick. Yes. So
you got players go, what's the Bama Nick? Where's my pizza?
Yeah. What is the Bama Nick? He's just a caller to a sports talk radio show in Tuscaloosa. He's just so happens to be. Well, hey,
it could be one of those things, Ryan, where it's like not on the menu, but if you ask for it, they'll make it.
Yeah.
But you got to be down like that. You got to know. You know?
I've been told there's a few items at Chick-fil-A that's like that. That it's like a secret menu.
You know, some places have those types of things. They do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Joe.
Thanks, Ryan. Roll Tide.
Yeah, Bama Nick. Bama Nick's got like a fan club. And I didn't realize that this fan club was so large. Dale, we're going to get to you coming up here in a couple of minutes right here on the game. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Thread Newsroom.
The Northport City Council will receive an annual salary of $15,500 beginning in November 2025. The council president gets a bump to $17,500 and the mayor to $22,000. The proposed Dawkins subdivision near Shelton State will go to the Tuscaloosa City Council without the total backing from the city's Planning and Zoning Commission. Alabama delegates attending the Democratic National Convention in Chicago say the pending nomination of Vice President Kamala Harris has recharged the convention.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, a very good Tuesday afternoon to you. We've got some heavies in Northport right now. Flatwoods Road at US 43. You have an accident. It's got traffic very heavy in the area. Usual happenings on Lurleen Wallace northbound lanes. It really starts to slow down at 20th Street.
Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A sunny sky this afternoon. The high today 89. Tonight the weather feeling more like fall. Clear with the low at 61. We stay dry tomorrow and Thursday. Lots of sunshine both days. Highs between 87 and 90. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
where the legends of Alabama football hang out.
McCarron, draw play. Lacey, huge hole.
Touchdown. Yep.
Alabama touchdown.
The Game with Ryan Fowler. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Tuscaloosa. I do remind you about thestandardbama.com, thestandardbama.com, home of the 20-inch pizza pie, pepperoni, meat lovers, cheese. Design your own. It is some great cheese sticks, mac and cheese bites, boneless wings. You'll find those. You'll find our good friends, thestandardbama.com, thestandardbama.com, thestandardbama.com. We greatly appreciate them for being a part of our show. A full-service restaurant. Also order online, thestandardbama.com, thestandardbama.com, also available by DoorDash. Let's continue with more, and we're going to take more phone calls. Let's go to Dale. Dale, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well, man.
All is well, Ryan. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. We got a few questions for you. How will you be voting today?
I don't understand. What is Nick? What is he voting for? What is he voting for?
Bama Nick has asked for his own segment on Thursdays at 5 o'clock for a couple of minutes.
Well, the only problem with that is I don't see where he brings any football knowledge.
Oh, okay. So you're saying you would vote for him, but he's got to bring football knowledge, or you're saying no?
Yeah, I like him. I love Bama Nick. I just don't hear a lot of. Yeah, I just don't hear a lot of football knowledge, but that would be fine with me. I mean, if we want to bull crap for 5 minutes, because that's what he's going to do.
Okay, so you are voting.
I vote, yeah, okay. That's fine.
All right, so another vote. You did show your identification. You did.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is a state that we require identification when you cast a vote. So that's just double check.
I'm an American citizen, man.
Okay, well, I'm not questioning that. I didn't matter. I mean. That's not important. We're just making sure you showed your identification. All right, so another yes for Bama Nick. Bama Nick has really started to run up this score quite a bit. And then we're asking your excitement level for the upcoming season. Where are you at?
Oh, man, I'm out the roof. I'm as far as you can go. I mean,
is this the most excited you've ever been?
Probably.
Damn.
Especially since I'm getting to work the games. I'm going to get to see the Georgia game. I'm going to get to see the Auburn game all in 1 year, man. This is exciting for me, Ryan.
Okay. Hey, Dale, I've been corrected on the not on Twitter, but on our app message that I was wrong on the year, that Bryant-Denny Stadium was rededicated in 1975. Okay. So I was wrong. I stand corrected.
The stadium renovation, sorry.
Yeah, so 1997 or 1998.
98 was the renovation.
Okay. That may have been the year that we played all of our games up in Birmingham, and then we came back down for the opening.
No, we played at Bryant-Denny then. I went to some games then. I remember playing Florida.
So help me. Okay, help me here. What did we do? Because I've got a Daniel Moore print that has Alabama and BYU and says rededication of Bryant-Denny Stadium. What was that?
The BYU game was in 98.
Okay.
I went to that game too.
Well, what was the significance? What was the significance of that?
I don't know. I can't remember that now.
Okay. So you mean we renamed Bryant-Denny Stadium in 1975?
Man, I don't remember that either. I ain't that much of a historian. I don't.
Dale, I need you to become a historian. We've got Tommy up a couple of calls away. So
he might know. Yeah, he probably knows more than I would.
Tommy, we're counting on you. Now we know you can't Google it or anything, but hopefully you'll know. So
how about this, Ryan? Saban Field. Saban Field. Or wait a minute, the Elephant's Den at Saban Field. The Elephant's Den at Saban's Field. That sounds better, don't it?
The Elephant's Den?
The Elephant's Den. Well, they got the swamp. I mean, we got to have something that's a little.
Now, I mean, not that we have elephants. I mean, what is a group of elephants called? I mean, we got smart people listening to the show. Okay, so it's the herd.
Elephant herd, yeah.
Okay.
But I'd say the elephant's den. That's where you come into the den when you come to Bryant-Denny Stadium at Sabin Field.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm a man of the people. But I mean, a guy that, whip butts inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, or whatever we call it these days, had one of the highest winning percentages in the history of this program, and really across the country.
Just change it all to him would be fine with me too. I just changed the whole field to his name, the whole stadium to his name. He has earned it. I agree with the last caller.
I think they end up flipping it. I think it's Bryant-Denny Field at Sabin Stadium. I think is what it'll end up being. That would
be really good. Yeah.
Say it again. You think it's what now?
I think they'll flip flop. I think it'll go Bryant-Denny Field at Sabin Stadium. That way you still get the PDS.
At the Elephant's Den.
On University Boulevard. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing out stuff at this point. Now, I'm all about renaming a street too. I mean, I've been trying to get that done, but. And one of these politicians want to run on a free platform. There you go. I will change 15th Street to Sabin Boulevard or Sabin Street or whatever.
Change University Boulevard to Sabin Boulevard.
But universities people too. I'm trying not to offend anybody. Number hopefully wouldn't offend anybody. I love 15. No, you don't. You love Nick Saban more. I mean, you got to be careful, right? You got to be,
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
Did I miss something? Did we get AK Deer?
Oh, yeah.
Did he always?
Yeah, where you been, Dave?
I missed it. I've been at work and at the grocery store.
Okay.
I didn't know
that. AK Deer says, I'm rolling with the Alabama Crimson Tide, number one running back in high school from Quitman, Mississippi. Says, I'm rolling with the Tide. So
that's huge, man. That is huge. And Ryan, I hope I never, and I know I have in the past. I know you've known me a long time. I know I have sounded the same way as Alf, but that sounds so bad. We are Alabama, man. We are Alabama. We expect to win. And Ryan? What does Kalen DeBoer not have at his fingertips? The resources, the roster, the fan base. What does he not have? The experience? He's got experienced players from the portal and mixed in with players that's been here that's got experience. What does he have not to accomplish that? What does he not have?
I can't think of anything. I mean,
he's got every ingredient that says we can win it all, and if we don't.
And you know who else is believing that? It's not Dale, and it's not Ryan, and it's not Biscuit Bruce, it's not Tommy. It's the recruits. The recruits are buying this.
Right. And why, Ryan?
I mean, you've got now the number one running back, number 3 quarterback who won the Elite 11 MVP. You have the number 3 wide receiver. Brett Greenberg put this out. Number 4 offensive lineman, number 4 cornerback, number 4 linebacker, another number 4 running back, a number 6 tight end, a number 6 linebacker, number 7 edge, a number 8 interior, the number 2 overall class, and 9 of the top 100 prospects in the entire country. 9.
And
that's 10% is coming to the University of Alabama for the 2024-2025 class. It's 2025 is what it is. I'm sorry, but it'll happen in December and in February.
Let me ask you this, Ryan.
Okay.
Why do you think all that's happened? Even going back to Saban, Nick Saban, when Nick Saban got here 17, 18 years ago, whatever it was. Why did you think that? Do you not think it has anything to do with the passionate, wild, crazy fan base at the University of Alabama, people like me, you, and all the callers? Do you think that does not have any kind of impact on recruits coming to Alabama and filling that stadium, 102,000 wild, crazy fans loving the University of Alabama?
It absolutely does. It's not even a question.
We expect to win it. Alf, I love you, buddy, but we expect to win it, man.
I'm starting to think that Alf, because he was such a pro Bama Nick guy, I'm starting to think maybe he was in the sauce.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah,
you might be right.
I mean, he could have been in the sauce. But, hey, Dale, talk to me, man. Give me a prediction. Who's going to lead this team in tackles?
Keon Sabb.
Ooh, that's it. Okay, we've not heard his name since the number 2 caller out of the gate. Wow. Okay, I like Keon Sabb. Give me the tackles.
94.
I got it, Dale. Thanks, man.
Roll Tide, right?
Roll Tide. Dale says he's never been more excited than he is right now. Med Center Urgent Care Family Medicine. No appointment necessary. The super doctors who live and work in our community. MedCenterUrgentCare.com. The urgent care, when you think about online check-in, you think about, well, I'm a little bit under the weather. Orthopedics, physicals, sports physicals are always popular this time of the year. A little under the weather, we're going to get you back to 100%. You do that by visiting either location, Tuscaloosa, Northport, North River, Demopolis, Fayette, Hoover, Alabama, MedCenterUrgentCare.com. We're going to Biscuit Bruce next. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. The game is powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. David DeSantis, the largest selection of new Toyotas in over 3 years, can be found on Skyline Boulevard, 3325 Skyline Boulevard. Also a nice inventory of pre-owned inventory. You can find the new Tundra, the 2024, the Tacoma 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. How about a new 4Runner, Highlander, RAV4, Camry, Corolla? For those outside of Tuscaloosa, save
City Brewing Company on Saturday, August 24th. Doors open up at 3 p.m. Tickets are $10 with proceeds benefiting the Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelter. Learn more at ashfest.org.
For over 5 years in our community in downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge, Mark's Mark, the home of the chicken swirl. You'll find that since 1978 in Selma, Alabama, for over 5 years in downtown Northport. If you want to dominate the grill today or any day, find Mark's Mark. A great stop by on your way home. If you're preparing for dinner, they've got a lot of those gourmet dishes that you can find, the great casseroles, the dips, the appetizers, the great steaks, the pork chops, the burgers, and all the supplies you need to dominate the grill.
Or return it for free with Lume's 60-day money-back guarantee. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER to save 15% today.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide football.
Alabama touchdown.
Only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Right here in Tuscaloosa, it is Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. 1530 McFarland Boulevard. Today's Burger Day. They've got the R&R Burger, the Albuquerque Burger, and the Pepper Chili Burger. You will find it at Southern Ale House. Eat Southern, be Southern. Southern Ale House, the great appetizers, the biscuit sandwiches, you can find those, the bacon wrapped meatloaf, the fish and taters, and coming soon, Southern Ale House, Dockside. Going to be up on Lake Tuscaloosa, up 43, about 3 miles past Winn-Dixie. A lot of excitement in that area about the new Southern Ale House that will be opening very, very soon. Biscuit Bruce, how are you? Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Always great to be on Tide 100.9 with Beach Bum Ryan Fowler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a big tan.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yep. I'm the me and the 8.5 by 11 paper have the same skin tone. Not very much.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, let me tell you one thing right quick.
Okay.
Dude, I got this box in the mail.
Yeah?
I can see a flea on a gnat's rear end at 150 yards.
When'd you get it, today?
No, I got it Saturday.
Okay.
Dude, these things are awesome, man.
Now, what did they send you?
pair of binoculars, of course.
Okay, I know that. I know that, but I mean, Vortex is who we gave those away a few weeks ago. But like, what did they did that? Because the guy told me that he thought he might be out of a certain one. He had to upgrade, so I don't know if he did.
Well, I got the boxes inside. I don't know. I took them straight out of the box. Come out here on the front porch. You know, I got like a 6-acre lake, 5-acre lake out here down from the house. Dude, these things are righteous. I mean, they're really, really good.
Okay.
I'll pass that other information on to you. I'm sitting on the front porch.
Okay. Well, they literally sent me they sent me a message.
I'm drinking 100 zero tea.
100
zero?
I've
moved. Yeah, 100% sugar, 0% non.
Oh, man.
Big old glass of my wife's sweet tea sitting there because.
How many cups of sugar do you put in a gallon?
2.
Biscuit, it was good to know you.
2 full cups of sugar, dude.
It was good.
If you ever drink my wife's sweet tea, you would flip out. It's so good, man.
All right, my doctor, when he challenged me to do the reduction, I did add something that has changed the flavor of my tea. I've started doing lemon. It kind of neutralizes the absence of sugar somehow. I mean, I don't know.
So,
it probably didn't make any sense, but it
does make sense, and I'll tell you why. Because like when she cooks a big dinner, I drink sweet tea. This is what I normally drink.
Okay.
So I have cut down. I make a half a gallon of Crystal Light lemonade, and I make a half a gallon of sweet tea, and I mix them together. They call that an Arnold Palmer, but my Arnold Palmer lemonade doesn't have sugar in it. So it's really, you'll try it. Really good. Really good.
Okay.
So I've started drinking a lot of that, except on, when you have Pauldine roast, green beans and butter beans and mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh, Lord.
And corn casserole and cornbread and fresh sliced tomato. I ain't drinking half and half of nothing. I'm drinking 100% sweet tea, dude. It's just so much better. It's like
now,
I see people like Bama Nick. Bama Nick likes to come home from work, reach in that fridge and grab a PBR and pop the top. I myself, when I'm having that kind of meal, I'm gonna drink sweet tea. That's the bottom line.
So, what's your doctor saying about this decision?
I tell you what my doctor said. When I don't know, 10 years ago, when I first started seeing. Can I say his name?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Dr. Clint McIntyre.
Oh, yeah. I know Dr. McIntyre.
Fabulous.
Great physician.
Great guy. Great guy. I love him. So, when I first started, he did my blood work, and I come back 3 months later. He said, Bruce, he said, tell me some of your regimen. I said, look, I can tell you what my problem is. I tell every doctor, and they have a fit. What? I drink sweet tea. What? Sweet tea? What kind? I said, my wife puts 2 cups to the gallon. He said, oh, my God, Bruce. He said, if you just cut that down, your A1C will come way down.
Okay.
And I have. But look, man,
you got to enjoy life, man. You got to enjoy life.
Yeah, my A1C is 6.1.
Oh, that's good. Let's get Bruce.
Yeah, it's good. So, I mean, I don't need a lot of, I'm not a big, I will occasionally eat some of Brett Garner's.
Bread pudding?
Bread pudding.
Is dark chocolate espresso bread pudding this week.
Yeah, whatever he made. I don't care what dessert it is.
Part of me being fat is because of Brett Garner.
I believe that 100% because I've been there.
Well, and you should.
He'll bring something out there and he'll say, here, try this. Here, try this. I'm not going to turn it down.
Today, I went to a new restaurant that he is opening. I can't say which one.
Yeah.
They wanted me to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And was I?
So maybe would that be up close to my house?
It would be. Absolutely.
So what is the date?
I don't think they've got an official date.
Yeah.
But they made us. They literally tied us to a chair and forced us to try some of the new menu items.
Yeah.
Biscuit?
Well, I'm glad I sit around here doing nothing today.
Your A1C won't be 6.1 anymore. Go get all your blood work done before
before it opens.
Yeah. You go like, well, sir, you're not available for another couple of months. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just do it early. Yeah, well.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and then I'll be back in 6 months.
Yeah, that'll be just a few.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Beautiful location.
It is phenomenal.
They knocked it out of the park.
I heard they did. I hadn't. I'm ready for it.
So they forced me to try.
I bet they did.
9 different menu items. I've never been so stuffed in my entire life.
Man, well, I missed out then, didn't I? That's all right. I'll catch up.
Yeah, well, we are.
I'll catch up.
But soon. So, Biscuit, I got to get to this top of the hour break, but I got a couple of things I got to ask you. You are voting yes for Bama Nick?
Ryan, so can we discuss that just real briefly? Real quick?
Yeah.
All right, so when you say segment, are you talking about like a 15 to 18 minute segment?
No. More
like from commercial to commercial?
No. Just he wants a schedule.
I need my full information before I vote.
Okay. Well,
all right, go ahead.
We've already wrote you down as a yes, but that's just.
Well, that's fine. Yeah. Look, I love Bama Nick. I just want to know,
okay,
how long we're gonna get to listen to his plays.
Okay. Yeah. No. like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if you can hold him 2 to 3 minutes, good luck.
Okay. So a yes from Biscuit Bruce. Okay. Deontay Lawson, give me the tackles.
Yeah. I'm going to go with 90.
Okay. Lawson with 90. Biscuit Bruce, give me your excitement level for the upcoming season.
How excited am I?
Yeah. Is it most that you've been in 5 years, 10 years?
Ryan, it's probably the most I have been in the last couple of years.
Okay.
Maybe the last 3. When things were going good and, Saban was not even considering retiring. They didn't have NIL, and they didn't have transfer portal, and they didn't have the players get to tell you what to do instead of you telling them what to do. It was pretty excitable every year waiting on that season to start. And that's I've got a little bit of that this year because it's uncertain. And I think that brings excitability when you're a little uncertain about some things, which not a lot of uncertainty other than a new era, I guess I should say. When you're about to start something new and something, you get you a new pair of shoes, you can't wait to put them on and wear them.
Yeah.
You get you a new shirt and you can't wait to take tags off and put it on and wear it. So we've got a new coach, we've got a new era, and I think we're all excited, and we can't wait to put it on and see what it looks like.
Got it. Hey, Biscuit, I got to get this break, man. I'm up against top of the hour right here at 5 o'clock.
Always great to talk to you, Ryan. Hey, guys, it's the same old. And don't forget who's cooking at the pigskin. Hey, we are the university.
Hey.
Let me tell you. You said 2 weeks. What's wrong with you?
It's coming up. Days, Get that barbecue ready. Get that barbecue ready.
We got the grill sitting there waiting on us, and we will start the butts. We'll start the rub down of the butts about probably 1 o'clock Sunday.
Okay.
We'll get them all rubbed down and put them on immediately, and they'll cook probably till 8, 9 Monday morning.
Yeah, I'm in. John Hanna, Nate Oates, Cedric Burns.
We're going to give him a whole butt.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you now. He John knows how to eat.
I bet Big John can eat.
I've broken bread with him, and he's very good around the table. Let me just say that. I'll leave it at that. All
right. I ain't bad around the table myself.
No, I know you're not. Hey, Biscuit, I got to get to this break, man. Appreciate you.
Love the show, man. We are the University of Alabama. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. We will talk with Brett McMurphy, who picked Alabama in the playoffs, but not just in the playoffs. Number 2 overall seed. He discusses next. T-Town Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, good news for you in Northport on Flatwoods Road at US 43. The earlier accident cleared and now you're all green for go. Not so green on McFarland Boulevard as we're dealing with typical rush to home delays or rush to work for some. And this is on the westbound lanes of McFarland at Watermelon Road. And then you've got Lurleen.
Or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511 today. All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A sunny sky this afternoon. The high today 89. Tonight the weather feeling more like fall. Clear with the low at 61. And we stay dry tomorrow and Thursday. Lots of sunshine both days. Highs between 87 and 90. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Where college football season never ends. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
It's big boy football.
And streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
We start the 5 o'clock hour. We run through the credentials every day at 5 o'clock. It's 18 national titles, 30 SEC titles, 147 first-team All-Americans, 77 postseason appearances, 45 postseason victories, 4 Heisman winners, the NCAA all-time scoring leader, and the greatest football coaches that ever walked the sidelines. We are 11 days away, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union. A little bit of a gotcha thing. How about 11 days? How about Jeff Rutledge? That'd be a number. How about Mike Shula? Mike Shula wore the number 11, left-handed quarterback back in the 80s. 11 days away, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union. We're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. TuscaloosaToyota.com. We have discussed this next article. We're going to be talking with Brett McMurphy coming up here in just a couple of seconds. It is the ActionNetwork.com. ActionNetwork.com. Probably one of the highest predictions I've seen around the University of Alabama. We're going to dive into that. We welcome in national college football analyst Brett McMurphy. Brett, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to T-Town.
Hey, Ryan, good to talk to you. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, we are. I think the last time we visited was back when Kalen DeBoer got the job here. I think you were kind of one of those guys that was kind of helping us understand that this might be a direction that Alabama would go, and they eventually did with Kalen DeBoer, and it's been a unique 240 days. It's the little learning curve about, the different things and how he does and how he operates. But pretty impressive job from Kalen DeBoer. And obviously you believe in him because you got him number 2.
I have him as the second seed.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily number 2.
Well, okay. But I mean, you got him as Oregon's number 1, right? As the number 1 overall seed, but Alabama number 2. So,
right. On my AP ballot, I have Alabama 5th.
Okay.
Right now, but I'm that's my AP ballot is not how I think they will finish. My AP ballot is kind of just how I kind of look at the landscape right now. It's not a prediction. The bowl projections, which you're referring to, is kind of my best guess at what I think what'll happen. And I've got Alabama as the 2 seed. So.
But you got to win in the SEC. Coach Saban out in Dallas said he didn't think Alabama was going to win the SEC, so you're one step ahead of Coach Saban.
Well, some of the players were saying Coach Saban told them not to listen to the guys that sit in their mom's basement and, talks about him, and so they're not going to listen to some guy that plays golf all the time. So I think a little dig right there to Saban.
Yeah,
I guess, I think the thing for Alabama, and, look, you could make an argument that Georgia will win the SEC. I think Texas has got some issues, even before they had the injuries at running back. I think it's going to be Georgia or Alabama. I think Ole Miss, they've got to prove it to me. I know they're highly thought of. I'm projecting them in the playoff, but they've never been in this position, and it's a lot different. The thing that intrigues me the most about Alabama is, and this is true with when Nick was there, and I think it's going to be true when Kalen's there, is a team of that magnitude, the last thing you want to do is give them motivation. Like, the talent is there. There's no question. So what's the difference a lot of times? Well, a lot of it's motivation, incentive. And so basically all Alabama players and staff have been hearing since Nick stepped down is, oh, Alabama's going to regress. Oh, how far is the program going to sink down? What in the world's going to happen? And they're hearing that every single day. And I think they're going to use that. And, kind of how they were joking about, they're not going to listen to Nick because all he does is play golf now. I think they're going to use that as motivation. And I think, also I'm sure you guys are ecstatic to see, but I'm thrilled to see what Kalen DeBoer does with Jalen Milroe. And is it going to be a Michael Penix-like transformation that he had at Washington? I mean, Penix was a great quarterback at Indiana, obviously a lot of injuries. Obviously Jalen's done a good job at Alabama, but he's probably going to be a different quarterback under Kalen DeBoer. And, I think they can win the SEC. We'll see. I've been wrong maybe once in my life, so hopefully this won't be the second time.
Well, Brett, but when you go to practice, there is a vibe in that building that I have not seen since the early part of Saban's dynasty, like from 2008, 2009, 10, 11. Like when you go there, I don't even feel like I'm covering the same program. I mean, the energy of the players, when you talk with Tyler Booker, when you talk to Jalen Milroe, when you talk to these guys, you're like, I mean, is this really the same team? I mean, did I move and just didn't know it? Am I covering a different team? The vibe and the energy in the building is simply amazing. I have not seen anything like this in a long, long time in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, and obviously, you're there, right there in town and interacting with the players and coaches, on a regular basis. I'm not, but just from a distance, that kind of plays into what I was referencing is that I think the incentives there, when you doubt a team, whether it's Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State or somebody like that, they usually perform. And, they get Georgia and Tuscaloosa. That's huge. Technically, God, I mean, I think Alabama's, I have to look at our Action Network power ratings, but I think Alabama is projected to be favored in every game. Because you get Georgia at home, Alabama would be a small favorite. At Tennessee, Alabama would be a small favorite. At LSU, a small favorite. At Oklahoma, probably like a touchdown favorite. And obviously the rest of the home games will be a favorite. You'll be favored at Wisconsin. So, yeah, that's the good news. The bad news is just because teams are favored doesn't mean they're going to win every game. But certainly I think that's the respect that people are giving Alabama. And also, which I probably, when we talked about last time, the thing I love about Kalen is everywhere he's been, he's won. And I don't care if you're coaching your kid's Little League team or you're coaching the NFL or somewhere in between. When you coach 116 games and you only lose 14, that says something. And, look what he did at Washington, a program that was just 1-11 a few years ago. And then they're in the national title game. And I think what he does will translate well to Alabama. It's going to look a little bit different, but I just think with all the talent and the recruiting that, obviously Nick's had there, the talent is there, and they're probably hearing a lot of similar things from DeBoer that they heard from Saban, but sometimes when you hear somebody tell you something and it's you parent it from the same person and then somebody else says the same thing, maybe sometimes it clicks.
Sure. And
so maybe that's kind of translating into how, you describe, what you've been seeing at practice and kind of the energy and different things that are going on there in Tuscaloosa.
Brett McMurphy, if they're not there, let's say that this team struggles. I'm not saying they will, but let's just say if they're not, what are some of the reasons why? Is it just going to be this first year, mulligan? But if they're not one of those teams standing in the 12-team playoff, what will be some of the reasons that you're questioning?
I guess what's your definition of struggling? Because I went on a Cleveland radio station when I was at Big Ten Media Day, and the first question out of the gate was, is Ryan Day on the hot seat? I'm like, the dude's he's lost 6 games in 3 years. So what's your definition of struggling?
Out of the playoffs, not in the playoffs. I think that'll be a new barometer, right? I mean,
so that means you're going to finish 4th or 5th in the SEC. Well, it's hard to say how that would happen. The talent's going to be there. Usually turnovers and mistakes are usually the biggest bugaboos for teams that have that much talent. If Alabama doesn't hold serve against Georgia and then struggles, their last 3 road games are against teams ranked in the top 15, top 20, Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma. Those are not going to be easy games at all. So, I guess to be devil's advocate and look at the other way, if Georgia wins, the rematch of the SEC title game last year, wins at Tuscaloosa, and then Alabama, struggles the last half of the year at Tennessee, at LSU, at Oklahoma. I guess that's a pathway that they would not get into the playoff. I don't think that'll happen. I can't sit here and specifically say what's going to happen because nobody's seen them play yet. We don't know what they're going to look like, under DeBoer.
And my rebuttal would be injuries. But after listening to Kirby Smart talk about depth last week and talking about he's probably as thin as he's been in certain positions, I think you'd say the same thing about Alabama. I think you could say a lot of these teams. You could probably go through your top 12.
I can say, and that's one thing, I'm glad you brought that up. That's going to impact everybody. That's not an Alabama deal. That's not a Georgia deal. That's 134 FBS teams, every single team. And because here's the thing, Ryan, with these new bloated conferences, the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and these made-for-TV matchups, I just named 4 of them. I didn't even name, left out at Wisconsin. These teams are going to be playing harder teams. The schedules for everybody are harder. So what does that mean? That means that in the second half that, Saban would do, and you and all your listeners are familiar with it, he'd have a big lead and he'd play the starters first series of third quarter and then basically run the ball the rest of the half and get out of there, move on to the next game. The issue is now when you've got, 4 or 5 ranked opponents on your schedule, that means those games are going to be more competitive. That means your starters are playing deeper into these games. Instead of getting out early in the third quarter, they're playing it through the entire fourth quarter. They're playing more plays. There's going to be more injuries for everybody. And then, look, with the 12-team expanded playoff in these tougher schedules, the colleges don't have any additional players. It's the same roster size they had last year. So what's going to happen? You get injuries and stuff like that happens, and it snowballs. I think because of that, I actually think the winner of the SEC will have 2 losses. I think the winner of the Big Ten will have 2 losses. I just think, Ryan, these schedules are so much more difficult than people are giving them credit for. And I think, a lot of fan bases, including Alabama, that are used to rolling out 12-0, 11-1 every year, they're in a rude awakening because these games are going to be tough for everybody, and everybody's going to be beating their brains in. And it's in a weird way, it's all, Saban for so long had pushed, or his preference was he wished all the Power 5 conference schools would just play each other, because it would be more NFL-like. Well, we're almost getting there. Not quite, but we almost are. Well, what happens in the NFL? You've got teams that are 9-7 competing for the playoffs. I think you'll have teams with 3 losses get in the playoffs. I don't know if a 4-loss team could sneak in. There'd have to be a lot of carnage. But I don't think nobody's going to go undefeated except maybe Liberty. And Ryan, you and I can get 9 guys and give Liberty a tougher test than anybody on their schedule, so they don't count. But the power schools, nobody's going undefeated. And again, I think the conference champs to the Power 2, Big Ten and SEC, will have 2 losses.
Well, the first time I'd heard it, you and I were down in Sandestin, and Kirby Smart stood at that podium and said it. And I went, whoa. Nobody, the thing of undefeated seasons, that's a thing of the past. I mean, I just don't see it. And after he said it was the first, head coach that I ever heard kind of address that. It's true. I mean, especially if you look at the SEC, maybe this was a smart move of not going beyond the 8 conference games.
Ultimately, they will go to 9. When ESPN gives them the money they want, they'll go to 9. And then they'll say they're doing it because they're fans and whatever. They're going to spin it. Look, that's fine. Make as much money as you can. I'm an Oklahoma State alum. Today, Oklahoma State announced they're putting QR codes on the back of the players' helmet. So I I'm past that point. So I'm not belly aching about, well, they're holding out for money. More power to the SEC. They should do it. Why add a ninth game if you're not going to get compensated for it? Ultimately, I think ESPN will come to that realization. I think they'll come to an agreement, and then you'll see them add the ninth game. But yeah, and then, you know, what happens when they go to 9? Well, eventually somebody's going to go to 10, you know, and then when you get to 10, you're not that far away from just playing only teams in your own conference. That's obviously a few years down the road, but yeah, I agree they'll go to 9, but no matter how they spin it, it will be the number 1, number 2, number 3 reasons will be money, money, and money.
221 days ago, we saw Kalen DeBoer get off that plane. We've talked about it with you, his wife, his 2 daughters get off the plane, and all of a sudden we see this individual and we're like, okay, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator? No, that's the general manager. That's the new general manager. Today, he received a significant upgrade from a $500,000 pay to $825,000 for an off-the-field personnel. It will become the highest in college football. Your reaction to Courtney Morgan and the value that he brings to Alabama?
Well, that's what, you know, I just talked about the money in the 9th game and for the SEC schedule. I mean, that's just another example of, you know, this is a whole different world. You know, it's professional sports, and you've got to have, you know, people that are qualified to do that and handle all of these finances and different things that we've never had to do before. And it, you know, it kind of reminds me of a conversation I had with Mack Brown over the summer, and I asked him, are you kind of mad about how college sports has become professionalized? And, you know, obviously the number of, you know, examples that we could list with NIL and everything else. And he goes, Brett, colleges aren't professionalized. And I'm like, Mac, what are you talking about? And I repeated all that, you know, we know all the different things. And he goes, no, he goes, professional leagues have rules. We don't have any rules. And he's kind of have a point there. So, you know, college football is not your older brother's game. It's totally different, and it's becoming, you got to be ahead of the curve. And obviously getting a general manager type is certainly putting you ahead of the curve. And you'll see, I'm sure every school will come down the pike, and now they'll want to do the same thing. And yeah, I don't think you can underestimate the value of somebody doing that, especially in today's climate of college football.
Hey, Brett, I want to throw it back to you. Talk about the Action Network. For somebody who's never heard of the Action Network, I'm in the business, so I've heard about it. I read your stuff. I've got you on notifications when you tweet, whether it's a happy birthday to a coach or all the different
Sorry
things.
About those.
No. Listen, I have it pop up on my phone, so I enjoy that because it's kind of you kind of document, hey, the young and up and coming coaches, but. You know, when you look at the Action Network, invite people how they can connect with you guys there and promote. What is it?
Yeah, it's basically Action Network. It's, you know, we're a website, and we also have our own YouTube channel. And basically we provide information regarding every sport, you know, under the sun: college football, NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, if you want WNBA info. PGA Tour, the FedEx Cup's going on this week. And basically you can go there and get all the information on all these different sports, and kind of, you know, break down if you're trying to predict who may win some of these games. Believe me, we've got every tool, on the face of the earth to look at. We have people to make their predictions. I do some of that. I also, you know, report news and bowl projections and different things. And, you know, our app is pretty cool. It's, you know, we've got live scores. You can, you know, have notifications sent to you anytime, you know, if you're in fantasy leagues, people score, that kind of thing. And yeah, if you just go on my Twitter feed, it's at Brett_McMurphy. And in my bio, there's a link there to the Action Network app. It's for all the Alabama listeners, it'll be free for the next hour. Well, no, I'm kidding. It's actually always free, but it sounds better that way.
Oh, it does.
But no, yeah, it's a free app. And, again, you can, you know, mold it however you want, where you can get no notifications. You can get notifications on scores, players, teams, whatever one. It's a ton of information. And, you know, I think the best description I've heard of it is when you're sitting down at the bar having a drink with friends and you've been on our site. You'll be a lot smarter when your favorite sport comes up and you start discussing it.
He is College Football Insider, America's College Football Insider, Action Network. Find him on the Twitter account, as you said, at Brett_McMurphy. Hey, Brett, thank you again for spending a couple of minutes with us. Hopefully we'll visit throughout college football season a couple times. I always enjoy the chats, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan. Take care.
Thank you. Brett McMurphy always helping us out, man. That's a fun conversation. He's got Alabama, as he corrected me, not the number 2 overall team because he's an AP voter. He's got Alabama number 5. But at the end of the season, when it really counts, he's got Alabama projected as the number 2 overall seed behind Oregon. Texas, hey Digger that calls in from Louisiana. He doesn't even have Texas in the top 12. Woo! How about that? Take that, our good friend from Louisiana. No, not Matt Moscona. Mike Detillier is probably one of the smartest guys down there. He's not got very much competition. Oh, did I really say that? We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Dan Beyer.
NFL insider Jordan Schultz is reporting that the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk have made progress on a contract extension that would keep him in San Francisco. However, the report did say that some small details still would need to be approved by 49ers ownership. As for the Cowboys holdout situation and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, owner Jerry Jones said today that he believes that a deal will get done, saying he's optimistic that the sides will come together. Vikings assistant and former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores responded today to the criticism levied against him by his former quarterback in Miami, Tua Tagovailoa.
Specific to the comments that were made by Tua, I just want to say, look, I'm genuinely happy for the success that Tua's had, and I really wish him nothing but the best. And player relationships are very important to me.
Raiders activated tackle Colton Miller from the PUP list. Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs should be ready week 1.
There must be some kind of way out of here. Say the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessman there, drink my wine. Plowman, dig my earth.
All right, let's continue. We've got Tommy and Romulus Democracy Dan. Are you kidding me? Democracy Dan's on hold. Pat, we're going to get to you as well. Tommy, Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, Ron, how are you?
I'm good, Tommy. How are you, my friend?
Great, but I'm going to have to question you on some of your legality.
Okay.
Yes. There's been a class action injunction against this false election you're holding. We cannot find
Tommy, we'll throw you in jail if you question our election. If you question these ballots.
You do not have paper file. You have violated the Constitution of the great state of Alabama. You have violated it. You do not have a county.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
No.
Bama Nick has won this fair and square.
You went to the Joe Scarborough School of Journalism. Shame on you.
Bama Nick asked for a vote. He put it in front of the people.
He did not file paper. To have a vote, you must have documentations. You must have signature. Nick did not get signatures in pen, paper, or blood, but in Nick's case, he didn't get it in crayon either, or tobacco juice, or braille.
Okay.
So therefore, you're running a scam, Joe Scarborough Fowler.
All we did is ask for votes.
No, don't play this in the state. No, you violate the state. There's no paper file. There was no fee paid. You have no record in being filed at the radio station. You're running a scam against the good people of Alabama. Shame on you. Shame.
Tommy, I'm just saying, if you question this.
I am, because it's my constitutional right.
Okay.
Like they'll say, I am an Alabamian first, then American. So I am questioning it.
You're going to jail.
No, I got too many lawyers in my family. I can tie it up to years.
Okay. But you're
a fraud.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, you violate the great state of
listen,
Alabama.
All we do is count the ballots. That's all we do here.
You can't. You don't even have a certified county. You don't have things. You have violated the Constitution of Alabama. And you're bringing in-state ballot out of state to the great state of Alabama. You have defamed the great Crimson universe. Shame on you.
Okay.
Shame. I just want to know.
No. I think I'm good. Chris Paul spoke to the Alabama football team just a couple of seconds ago. 12-time NBA All-Star, 9-time NBA All-Defensive Player, and an NBA legend. Chris Paul speaking to the University of Alabama.
Nick brought the late great Kobe Bryant down.
He sure did.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Man, you should see the smile on Jalen Milroe's face. My.
Well, he's getting to meet a lot of good, famous people, so he's going to be up there pretty soon being more famous than he is now.
Can you imagine the ambassador that he's going to be for the University of Alabama?
He's going to be awesome.
His energy level.
Let me tell you, he's worth more than $10 million goodwill. I mean, him out there, if he stays a class act, he can't, there's no amount of money you can pay for that. Good endorsement. Good publicity or anything like that. So, to answer you a couple other questions, yes, it was 75 when they named the stadium.
All right, so help me, Tommy. What was the rededication? What was that? I mean, is it just in my head? Did I go to sleep?
See, you remember in 87, we didn't play at Bryant Stadium because we played all the games. Curry first year, we played all our games in Birmingham.
Yeah, but what happened in 97?
They rededicated every time they added something to the stadium, like the right end zone upper deck or the south end zone, or when they added on, they did a rededication. It seemed like it. So those are the years.
I got you.
Yeah, when they did the end zones and they did press watch side and the other side of the stadium. I mean, yeah, because when Coach Bryant played, there was no upper deck.
Okay.
Coach at Alabama. No. And
all right.
Upper deck.
So,
go ahead.
Tommy, we already got your linebacker, but I'm going to ask you about the excitement level.
I'm very excited because I'm going to explain this to you, but people don't like history.
Here comes another box of ballots.
Well, I found the injustice. This is a fraud. You're a fraud, Ryan Fowler. And the people are going to realize it.
We're cutting off all voting on this Bama Nick thing. I mean, this thing has got out of hand.
Well, I found the injunction. It's illegal. You can't do nothing.
We'll send the FBI to your house.
I got a cousin in the FBI. I don't care. He don't scare me one damn bit. So bring him on. All right, go ahead. What were you talking about?
The excitement level. What's your excitement level?
I'm very excited. It's like when Nick Saban came. 2007. I'm going to tell you why.
Really?
Yes. It's a new era. It wasn't excitement like it when Perkins came, because I'm going to tell you why. Coach Bryant died 30-something days after, he played his coach's last game. And it was kind of like a sadness, because I was 22 years old at the time. Coach Bryant was the only football coach we ever knew. I mean, it was like, well, it's a new era, but it was sad, too. And Ray Perkins did some dumb things, like he dropped Coca-Cola and Golden Flake, went with Pepsi, and, a Frito-Lay, which was an idiotic thing to do. I mean, and took the tower down. That was 2 strikes. He shouldn't never do it first year. And going back to the question, we need a name. We should put the name of the stadium for Saban. Maybe so. But right now, the excitement is about Jalen DeBoer. We don't need to have every ball game this year dedicating something to Nick Saban. Don't get me wrong when I say that. It's great to go do the field. There's plenty of time to do that. Kalen DuBois, game one is his era to begin. Let's get on a good note. Quit living in the past. I mean, that's what we have done before in politics and stuff, and it cost the coaches. Like, in 87, we thought we could get Bobby Bowden. We got Bill Curry because Gerald Thomas stabbed everybody in the back. This time, it's been no friction, except a little naysayer out there and fake radio, TV, and say, well, he's going to be another Hawk. No. I'm excited for that, and there's going to be plenty of time. You know what? I don't care if they name the interstate from McFarland Mall all the way to the Mississippi line, so when LSU fans come to Tuscaloosa, they will have to ride on Nick Saban interstate section or whatever, so they remind him, y'all had him, but we kept him. You know what I mean?
Todd. All right, Tommy, I got to run, man. I appreciate you as always. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And, man, it's always...
Yeah, one other thing real quick. I'm mad at you and Bruce, Biscuit Bruce. Talking about sugar, my blood sugar went up. Thank you very much.
Let me say this. We won't have Biscuit Bruce much longer. 2 cups of sugar for each gallon of tea.
Oh, it's just like the guy who smoked his 99 or 101 smoked cigarette for 90 freaking years. I mean, never matter how. But he outlived everybody else who didn't smoke or drink everything. Biscuit Bruce, forget. He ain't going nowhere no time soon. So don't use that logic.
I'm worried about Biscuit, man. 2 cups of sugar. 2 cups of sugar. All right, man, I got to run. Thank you, Tommy.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
We will continue. Democracy Dan next. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Definitely your rush to home delays on McFarland on the westbound lanes to Watermelon Road. Usual happenings here. It's got you tied back to Academy Drive. And we're also looking at heavy traffic on Lurleen Wallace. That's on the northbound hookup to McFarland Boulevard. And that one takes you way on back here to
the year-end clearance sale at Townsend Nissan going on now. You can save thousands. See BJ or Kylan today at Townsend Nissan, your savings place.
DanielMooreArt.com. Daniel Moore Art celebrates those special moments of Alabama football history like 4th and 31, Jalen Milroe connected with Isaiah Bond, or the legacy continues with all the great memories of Alabama Crimson Tide football. You can celebrate Coach Saban with a Nick Saban print, the limited edition canvas. You could also find many of the great mini prints. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life.
Better for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com. Code BETTER to save 15% today.
The longest running sports show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
I thought you knew I had some help. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess all by myself. Don't act like you ain't.
Hey, I do want to remind you about the pharmacy at Midtown. TJ Thomas, he's the Nick Saban of pharmacists. The pharmacy at Midtown. TJ Thomas, the Nick Saban of pharmacists. When you look at the back of Midtown, you'll find the gym. You got the chicken salad chick. You got the playground. You'll find it right there at the back. You've got the elevator. You got the stairs. It is the pharmacy at Midtown. The pharmacy at Midtown. We're going to take Democracy Dan. I got a little bit late here. I didn't realize it. We were looking up at the end of the show, and somehow, I don't know where. Oh, yeah, you mean lightning. Yeah, okay. I was making sure. We'll get Democracy Dan coming up in a couple of minutes. We're all trying to figure out how, but somehow we might have accidentally missed a break somewhere. Somehow me, I got off track. I'm blaming it on Tommy and Romulus. That's what I'm blaming it on. I screwed up somehow. Democracy Dan, 2 minutes away. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports. The Pharmacy at Midtown with TJ Thomas, 205-752-0627. PharmacyMidtown.com. Don't forget about the retail side of the Pharmacy at Midtown. It's an independent-owned pharmacy specializing in walk-in prescriptions, medicine on time packaging, which includes
the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Tide 100.9. For more coverage of Alabama football, visit us at Tide100.9.com or download the free Tide 100.9 app.
The Crimson Tide will not be denied.
Welcome you right back into the game here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Democracy Dan, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, it's going pretty good. Trump is getting a little ill with you putting me on hold as long as you keep him from getting out on the streets and campaigning for him. But
yeah, my apologies. I really do. I mean, I don't know. Literally, Democracy Dan, I lost a segment. I don't know where it went. I don't know what happened to it. I have no clue. We just looked up and we were...
I can tell you where it went wrong was filibustering Bruce.
You think it was Biscuit Bruce? Okay. It could have been. It could have been.
He created that on his show during those giveaways. But Bama Nick, I'm going to have to vote no to Bama Nick.
All right. So, whoa. Hold on a minute. Whoa. I mean, you and Bama Nick are tied.
Yeah, we're tied. And so I say no to Thursday because he deserves his own show every day, Monday through Friday, from 6 to 7.
Oh, so hold on a minute. We're bumping Stingray?
Yeah. Yeah. I would much rather have Bama Nick from 6 to 7. That's for sure.
Okay, so you're asking for Bama Nick to be in, okay. So
yes.
You're not just asking for Bama Nick to have his own segment.
No, Bama Nick gets his 5 to 20 minutes daily, and that's just, that's not enough. We need an hour of Bama Nick every day. Like Tony's got his own show now, right? I've been so busy with the Olympics and the politics.
Yeah, let me look. Let me look at the schedule. I don't even know our own schedule. Yeah, I think Tony is part of the lineup. It's somewhere. I don't know where he is though. He's got the 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. spot.
Excitement level, man. I tell you, it's up for me this year, fella. I've actually bought some tickets this year. I hadn't done that in a while.
Whoa.
Yeah. Bought some tickets.
Okay.
And,
so Democracy Dan is fully on board with Kalen DeBoer. Hey, that kind of rhymed a little bit. Democracy Dan is on board with Kalen DeBoer. Huh. Funny.
Well, is it the same level as this Democratic Party high they got now for Kamala? Is this exciting?
Yeah, this one might be a little bit bigger. This is at least with numbers. Yeah.
Well, I bought tickets. I bought some tickets, and I also bought national championship tickets.
Oh, whoa! Dawson, is this you? Is this you?
We're going all the way, baby. It's gonna beat everybody 7-0.
Okay, Democracy Dan.
Yeah, we miss old Dawson.
I mean,
for sure.
Doomsday Danny wow.
I got so many aliases. Danny from Gardendale, Doomsday, Danny G and Foley, Democracy Dan, and Mar-Largo. We're busy down here in Trumpville right now.
Okay, all right.
But are we doing like the politics? Are we distancing ourselves from saving like the Democrats are distancing themselves from Biden?
A little bit. Yeah. We're
this Hollywood fake the excitement they got going right now for Kamala, is it going to last?
No. No, it's not going to. It's not going to. It's.
Well, they're recreating her. Like they're recreating Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
You know what she's done on the border and inflation, defund the police. She wants everybody to be woke. Going to give everybody thousands of dollars for a new house. She's all of a sudden for fracking. It's just and people are forgetting about Hugh Freeze. It's sort of like the same thing. Yep. What he's done.
I'm just about out of time right here, Danny.
Oh, are you? Well, anyway, they got 3 years of in a row of losing seasons, and but anyway, I hate that. Trump's getting mad at you, Fowler, for not letting me get on earlier.
You got to get mad at Biscuit Bruce and Tommy. Tommy is the one that got us all sidetracked. I mean, it's but Simon is giving me the bird. No,
okay.
I'm sorry. No, that wasn't a bird. He was just giving me the break sign. I didn't know what in the world was going on. I thought Simon had already went to the other side of the aisle.
So do we have to go or not?
Yeah. Give me a prediction. Give me a prediction on linebacker.
I'm not going to do the buzzer thing. I haven't been able to call much.
Okay. All right.
So, but I got to get back out on the streets with my bicycle, my Trump shirt, my Trump flags and hat, and go politics. So
thank you.
Roll America.
Thank you. We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, 1230 WT. And the future repairs. No overtime charges on weekends and holidays. No hassle guarantee. Adams Heating and Cooling. 205-872-0045.
The Game with Ryan Fowler. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. On your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9. And streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Quickly here in this final couple of minutes, Pat, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Yeah, man. LT Overton and 88 tackles.
88 LT Overton.
Yeah. But, hey, man, it's been a bear to get in today. I've been on hold. I was on hold for 38 minutes. Phone died. Got back in line. And another 25 minutes. But hey, I ain't complaining. I'm glad to be able to get into you.
Yeah, somehow we got off track. We don't know how we did it, but I got off track.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, that's no big deal. But hey, getting AK Deer was a major coup.
That'll get us back on track. That'll get us back on.
The top two players in the state of Mississippi. We don't have the top two. And hey, do you think we still might be trying to get that cornerback from over in Birmingham to flip from, because if we can flip him, the biggest thing is flipping him from Ohio State. So that takes away their 5-star plus and puts us back in the driver's seat, would it not?
I mean, right now, don't we have more 5-stars than anybody? I mean, aren't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We do, but for some reason we're still ranked number 2.
I gotta run, Pat. I'll try to get John Garcia on tomorrow. See if we can talk about him, man.
Good deal.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
be
you.
hanging on.
Hey,
Bye.
big thanks to Simon. Always fun and been a visit with him. Jackson, Wyatt, we thank our law enforcement officers, EMTs, firefighters, first responders, highway patrol. We thank you. We appreciate you. We remind you that we call this program The Game, and the only way that you win the big game, the game of life, is to walk daily with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Good night, T-Town.
And tell me everything so I can understand your world. You can understand my dream.
Thank you for listening to the